Thursdays, SportsCage.
Chaos.
I'd like to know the name of that song that we play in and out of breaks. It's Barney Shankaruk. It's Sharky.
Do I get to pick the music?
Thursday? No, you don't.
Okay.
Maz picked a song the other day and got us flagged on YouTube. So not a good thing.
Maz?
CNC production company on the other side. Yeah, doing yeoman's work. I looked that up a little while ago, what actually that means. Look it up if you want. What we're going to do is we're going to recap locally what happened. If you're following hockey, AAA, midget playoff game last night, the WHL standings went from tight and crazy to whatever more tight and crazy
Super
is.
tight.
Yeah, so we'll run down that. Hour one, Len Antonini from Regina Minor Football is going to come on. We're going to talk spring football. I totally forgot that there is spring football these days. The football game has changed.
Till I saw his name on the sheet today, I was like, why are we... Oh, yeah. Spring football. Yeah.
Yeah.
The little Rugrats, they get them out. Get them going.
Well, I think there's some older Rugrats as well. I don't know much about it, so it's going to be a exploratory visit with Len. Hour two, Arash Madani's in. Clutch performer, NASCAR report. Sharky's got that buttoned up. And then Darryl Wolski, NCAA hockey advisor, will join us. And we're going to throw up, if you're going to watch the stream later, you'll see it with your eyeballs. If not, we'll paint a picture on the radio and let you know how many or where the athletes are coming from that have committed to NCAA schools. And I mean by leagues. Now that the Western Hockey League is in the mixer, where do they stack up against the BCJ, the SJ, the MJ? He's got a list of that. We'll go through that with Darryl. And then also we're going to talk about the new CIS or U Sports. I was going to say CanWest. U Sport rule where you can go play pro hockey for 2 years.
You always could go for one.
Half a year.
I thought it was...
You had to be back by Christmas.
It's changed a lot.
You had to be back. I remember you had to be back by Christmas. If you went for the full year, I think you had to wait 365 days. So then the next year, so really you only could play years 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. I don't know if 5 would be in play if you're in one of the fancy colleges.
Well, you can go for as long as you want.
Hour 3, Glen Suitor. He is somewhere in the UK. We'll talk to Glen Suitor. What? He is.
I just picture him around Stonehenge or something, wandering amongst the rocks.
Oh, I like finding out where Glen is. We'll talk about the combine that's coming up here in Regina next week with Glen. I'm also I want to flat out ask him if he's been contacted on the commissioner race or anything to do with the commissioner. I'll just flat out ask him. Glen? And then, hey.
And we want to see your proposal.
Prairie Junior Hockey League, Junior B. It gets going Saturday in Fort Knox. The only sports outlet talking about it since 2024, the SportsCage. We got Madden Wallis from Fort Knox coming on to chat about the series with the Regina Extreme Capitals. And then we'll end the show with a Kolten Bridgeman, Regina Pat player Kolten Bridgeman interview that Dave Thomas packaged up nice and neat. So there's a throw. There's 3 hours for you. You don't have to listen to the whole thing because you can go back and listen to it in podcast form if you want. You can watch the stream. If you watch the stream, shout out SJHL.
I like
the commish. Everybody, they dropped off this hoodie for me.
Just for you.
I don't know if I'm allowed to take it. I'm sure there's paperwork that I have to fill out somewhere to be like, no, you can't take free gifts. It's a hoodie.
You're not a politician.
No, the companies, man. It's 2025. I feel not just...
Then I'm taking your cookie back.
You shall. Take said cookie back. No, thanks to the SJHL. Nice hoodie.
It's nice.
It's a large. So the extra larges are probably really big because I'm an extra large, mostly shirt guy. Go ahead.
No. I'm the same guy. I'm the same guy. I'm an XL.
Yeah, so thanks to them. The stream is always at sportscage.com. Also on Twitter. Lots of people watching on Twitter these days. And then if you can't do that, 620 CKRM, of course, go back and listen to the podcast. Text in. Join the program.
I want to make a comment. You always dress well with the appropriate logoed, detailed information whenever we're on. I'm impressed by that. You're never inappropriately dressed?
What would be inappropriately dressed for me?
I'm not sure. But
Like keeping it with on the rails.
Yeah, it's always been the sports themed stuff. I think one time you had some rock and roll stuff on, but it's usually sports themed.
I'm a big concert or band T-shirt guy.
Yeah,
you got a Metallica T-shirt once I wore.
Whew, love seeing them.
My Blackhawk, country band.
Yeah,
the Roxette one I always wear.
I thought you only wear that one when you go to sleep at night. That's your special.
No, when I'm sleeping in my car.
See, I come from my other job. I can't just wear a hoodie to my other job. But I do.
Thanks.
I do have wardrobe here.
Thanks for the update. Okay, chime in on the program.
Positive
heckle
comment.
us, whatever you want. 936-6262. 306-936-6262. The Prairie Land Rentals and Sales text line. Since 1986, big jobs, small jobs, biggie smalls jobs. Stop in and deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. If you I chickened out on the.
I was going to say, where are we at with the snow removal?
I still need it though. Like I have so much snow on either side of my driveway, and just how the snow hits it's not going anywhere. And then once it does, it all pools up on the bottom part of the lawn, and it's like a splash pool.
Okay, are we going to try to hire somebody for this role? Are we?
No. I want to do it, and I want you to come over and laugh at me.
Oh, I'm going to laugh. There's no doubt about that.
The Tiger Torch, though, like I was chipping ice, and if anyone, you know what I mean. If you have a northwest facing driveway,
yes,
you know you're getting the melt, and then the freeze, and then just how our downspouts are situated. That's the worst part of the house by far. And I take it for usually a month of the year, and then whatever. But this year it's going to be longer. And I was chipping away, getting blisters. That looks bad if you're watching the stream. Sorry. And I'm like, this Tiger Torch idea.
It's got legs.
This, like, do I just text Crofty and be like, "Were you serious?
Oh yeah.
About bringing it over?
Sure.
Will it wreck my driveway?
Well, no, because we're melting the snow. We're not heating up the concrete.
And my driveway needs to be sealed anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're melting the snow, right? We're just trying to get the water running.
No, I want to do I want to do the driveway.
Right. It's supposed to be minus 11 this weekend. Like you might want to put this project on hold.
No, or do I do it and then I start fresh? I really have I'm really diligent in making sure all snow is off the driveway. The problem is the other 3 humans that live in my house. I know they know how to work a shovel. I know they know, but they just don't shovel the snow. So then the snow and at some point it's like it's a lost cause.
Have you thought of letting them go? Moving on.
One's a really good cook, so that's not happening. Also able to
that one gets a stay. Yeah.
Also shuttling the other 2 between 3 and 6 now that I have a second job. So that one's got to stay.
Yeah.
The other 2 are so damn cute and so much
sellable,
joy.
then. We can move them.
No, I think we're good.
Put them on the internet.
The one might be out in a couple of years anyway.
That's true.
And then you're going to be sad.
No, my parents were never
sure.
sad. They were happy to see the tail.
Yeah, but that's you.
Down. Yeah, that could be true. Yeah.
936-6262. Are you in the market for any humans? Trade.
For snow shoveling.
Interesting trades accepted. Must be able to work a shovel. Last night.
Sounds like the food's good.
Last night locally. Let's go local here.
Okay.
So we do locally. Pat Canadians Blazers. They've met in the postseason.
Like 3 years in a row or something?
Yeah, usually the final. Usually goes down in the final. Patsy's bit of a statement game in game 1. And I know they're going this thing could go 5 because the Blazers have a good roster on paper. They have a lot of problems elsewhere they must.
They're not that far apart in the standings. Right? They weren't like ridiculously far apart in the standings. They were pretty close. So it wasn't expected that it wasn't like a 1 versus 8 scenario. So I didn't expect the Blazers to roll over by any means. I still think that it's not being done in 3. It's going to go at least 4, right?
Yeah, it was 5-2 last night for the Patsy's. Patsy's 3-0 lead after the first period. That will get the attention of the opposition.
Yep.
And totally sink them.
Change their attitude.
Game 1 on the road. Can we just get back on the bus and go home and regroup on Friday? Game 2 is Friday up in Saskatoon. If you're making the trek up there, the Rod Ham on the west side, right by the original Vern's. OG, no free plugs, but the tap here is a good client of ours.
Yeah.
That's where you get Vern's Pizza in Regina. I worked at that Vern's.
Look at the big sign, home of Barney Shinkrock, west side.
Yeah, when you're cruising through Riversdale there.
Yeah.
Avenue P and 16th Street. That's, there's a sign there.
It's on your mother's lawn.
But yeah, game 2 is Friday in that one. So you're saying it's going
It's going at least 4. Yeah, there's no way the Pac Canadians sweep that. And that's not an offense to the Pac Canadians. That's just the Blazers are a good hockey team and they'll battle back.
They'll push back.
Yep.
They'll push. Swift Current and Moose Jaw starts Friday. That's the other AAA game. Okay, now we go to the Western Hockey League. Do we have the standings, fellers?
I'm looking at these.
We'll take the picture for people listening on the radio. So yesterday, in the Saskatoon Blades were here, played the Regina Pats, if you all remember the other day. Then they have to go to Brandon. Like, this is a bad... Think about it. Late in the season, midweek, for the Blades, it's like you look at the schedule and go, Regina, Brandon, Swift?
Who drew that up?
The circus is in town somewhere. Isn't that always an excuse why teams tried to hose other teams? But yeah.
Horse show. There's a horse show.
That's Brandon for sure. They used to have a fair 5-2 last night. Brandon over the Blades. Now, the Brandon Wheat Kings are a good hockey team. And I didn't know this because the last time I talked to his dad, he said he was probably done for the year, but that was back in early January. Roger McQueen is back playing.
He's good.
For the Brandon Wheat Kings. And he's a different maker. He's a good hockey player. He's a big body. He only 1 assist last night, but a +1. So Brandon beats the Blades 5-2. So then the standings go Eastern Conference. Medicine Hat still first place. Well, they're tied 90 points with Calgary. So one of those two teams is finishing first in the Eastern. Then Brandon is now second. I totally forgot that Brandon can be there because they have 75 points, as do the Saskatoon Blades. But just head-to-head and whatever the tiebreaker is, Brandon is now the second seed. The Blades go down to 5th.
And they've all played the same amount of games, 63 games.
No, the Blades have played 6. Yeah, Blades have played 63. You're correct.
Yeah.
So with 5 games remaining, if you're a Western Hockey League fan, and whether it's Brandon or the Blades, Prince Albert, it looks like Swift is... they should have put a little X beside Swift Current's name as well, because you think about it, 5 games left. Red Deer is 10 points back.
And they got to run the table.
They have to, yeah, but they won last night. It was 3-2 over Swift. So Struchy, shout out Dave Struch.
Kept his team alive.
Kept the team alive. Wouldn't that be something?
You know, you look at that 2-7 matchup, which is right now would be Brandon, PA, could be Saskatoon. It could be Saskatoon, Brandon, or PA playing each other in the first round in a 2 versus 7 lineup. Even Edmonton could end up there somewhere.
Everybody's
in the mix.
Everybody that travels Highway 11 wants Saskatoon and PA.
Everybody. Yeah.
Like, get the Art Hauser packed, rocking, probably fights. There'll be over under 3 fights in the stands in that series.
What about the parking lot? What do you got? Do we throw the parking lot in too?
Parking lot tussles out by the ballpark there in PA.
And the casino?
No, they'll be metal by the time they get to... Casinos are business trips. You got to calm down. Take the emotion out of it. Your business trip here.
Yeah, we're winning money now. Okay.
Have a pint. And then, yeah, that'd be a great matchup.
Oh, be fantastic. Now, what happened to the Raiders coaching staff?
A story I got. Said this the other day on the program. You should listen. Is
like I do have more in my life than listen every day, all day long.
Truett, you can listen to it when you're gardening at night. You're indoor solarium. His contract was up, I think next year.
Okay,
maybe this year. And he said, "Hey, let's deal here. Let's wheel and deal. I want a longer deal." And the number, they were not close. Successful coach.
Yep. He's had a good career.
Won the jug. He won the jug twice.
Yep.
and they're so far off. And then I think while they're playing right now, how they're playing, they said, well, Ryan McDonald, you're going to be the head coach. Jeff, thanks for the memories. We're going to let you go.
Wow.
That's what I heard. So don't take that to the bank anywhere.
Don't post it on social media. Barney
especially
said.
in downtown Prince Albert. Don't be going to the bank. But that was what I heard.
Yeah.
Makes sense, though. Community-run team, though, community-run teams,
Their budgets are a lot tighter.
and they don't make these decisions lightly.
No.
Lots of board meeting. Got to have a board meeting today. Emergency board meeting at Venice House. Emergency board meeting at what?
Venice. I like how you know every place. Like, it doesn't matter where we go.
drive
You know
through
every
it like
you
four,
know every
four or
spot
five
we're
times
gonna
a
go.
year my
Yeah.
whole life. I like the city. Cook Municipal Golf Course. I would say top 5 course in Saskatchewan.
You've bragged about it a lot. Yeah. I've never hit the links there.
Darcy does a heck of a job. They got Ryan Wells.
Yep.
Is the head pro there now. Great course. But yeah, Prince Albert. That's a late coaching change. Would you accept, like, you would, like, let's be honest, if you're McDonald, you accept it, but there's part of you as the competitor is like, yes, let's roll. Then the other part is like,
well,
this is sketchy.
there must have been more words said than that for them to go, no, we're going to let you go right now, especially with 5 games left in the season, and you know you're going into the playoffs, a chance to finish second in the East, get home ice, right? Get a shot at maybe playing 2 rounds, and you got to have a lot of confidence in your assistant coach to run that program the same and to make that change. I'm not going to question Curtis Hunt. He's been doing this longer than lots of people, but he would have went to his board, and yeah.
That's a tough spot for Huntsy because him and Truitt are tight.
Yeah.
Was there a part where Huntsy says, "Hey, the board, you guys, this is on. You guys deal with it. You guys deal with it. I'm washing my hands."
Well, he might have said this is their max offer, and he says, "Well, tell them to do this to that," and they go back and say, if that's what he thinks, you can pack up.
Throw in a range pass at Cook, and 2 gift certificates to the Venice House every month. No, yeah, and
I'd get her done.
it'll be interesting. Regina Pats, Moose Jaw Warriors playing out the string here. It's good. I like it for the kids. Like, we've interviewed Moore the other day.
Yeah.
Zach Moore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Great kid. Just happy to be there. You guys tell the kid, they don't care.
They still want to
play
play
hard.
Yeah, you still want to play,
Especially against teams that need points.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, okay, now we got, like, yeah, let's stick it to them.
let's spoil their day.
For sure.
Yeah, there's every time we've talked to one of those kids, I've got a great feeling about how hard they're playing and how hard they want to make life awful for somebody else. And I think that's impressive that those young kids are playing that way. And I give Brad Hariff a lot of credit for keeping them in the mix, right? He could be hanging his head, but he's not. And he's working with them. And I think that's a real positive for the Regina Pats.
I had a sociable with Brad Hariff yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Lunch?
He's a great spirits.
He is.
Gets the kids to play hard. He's got some real interesting outlook on the game at different levels. And I'm not gonna, because there wasn't an interview that he was like, yeah, we'll talk about this. But he's it's just at that level, and people can go, well, they haven't won a lot of games this year. He's a good hockey coach. Like, he looks at the game. When you and I think we know the game,
Everybody's got something else to see.
There's just so many little things about the game at the major junior level, at the junior A level, even about kids at the AAA midget level moving up. And I'm just like, wow, I didn't see that.
There's certain things that some guys are really good at identifying that they've got to focus on, and they're understanding that better. I would say there's some things that I watch that are maybe different than what other guys watch or see in the course of a hockey game.
What's your ideal hockey player?
Like comparative style-wise, Brendan Shanahan.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be able to score goals. You got to be able to hit. You got to be able to, right?
Fight.
if necessary.
Yesterday, they talked about fighting on the show yesterday. These guys.
You don't need to start it. My rule was always don't start, don't lose.
That's not a bad T-shirt.
Don't start, don't lose.
Shark Auctions.
Yeah.
Don't start, don't lose.
See if we can get our boys to put that on a coffee cup for us.
If you're watching the stream, it's Zadorov fighting the other night. I'd never seen that guy fight. Didn't know that those gloves actually came off.
Yeah, I've seen him drop it a couple times. He's a big kid.
Well, he's huge.
Yeah, he's a big kid. Like Bennett's trying to get one more in there at the end, but Bennett's out of his weight class in that one.
I'd like to see the Matt Rempe and Zadorov go. They're both... Rempe's 6'9".
He's a monster.
6'9".
Ooh. Bennett maybe teased the dog a little too long, didn't realize he was going to get bit.
Well, what's he hanging on to Pasternak for? Okay, well, I got one hand holding onto this guy and one hand holding onto
I got the wrong guy.
Yeah. I'll just throw punches with my middle hand. I don't have one.
I didn't think this through. Oh, no. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. The kind of guy that I love to have playing for me is that kind of guy, right? That can score goals and go knock people down and play hard in his own end and a great teammate. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like him in his present role as the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But
I like Matthew Tkachuk.
I do not like him at all.
I like him as a hockey player. Love to have that guy on my team.
I think he starts stuff that he doesn't need to do.
I really like Joe Sakic.
Sure.
Respected.
Smooth. Good with a puck.
He was like, he came across soft, but he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Demanded so much respect, like the Sean Avery story.
Yeah.
When he was young, like that's just fantastic.
Brett Hall. Shh.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Sakic. You don't talk like that to Mr. Sakic.
If people have wondering what's going on, I know a lot of guys are in golf pools and girls right now. Before we go to break here, update from the Players Championship.
I have a question for you, too.
Tied. Lucas Glover and Camilo Villegas are tied at -6. Lucas Glover has smiled. You can count on both hands in his lifetime.
And he's smiling now?
He's still on tour, and he's leading. Too bad about Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Training blew his Achilles. Tiger, what are you training? Why do you train so hard at your age? Dude, it's okay to have a bit of a boiler.
He still wants to win.
That's okay.
He's still chasing ladies. He's got to stay shape.
Have you seen some of the guys that are getting ladies these days and what they look like? Tiger Woods could have a little bit of a boiler.
I'm looking at this guy and I'll tell you it's not happening.
I'm not going to go there. But that's unfortunate because everyone was looking forward to him playing the Masters. He plays that course so well.
Everybody loves watching him play. Yep.
And now it's done. But yeah, at the Players, do your question.
Did I hear yesterday when you were talking to
I wasn't here yesterday.
Tuesday, Ryan Pollock, that he's got Augusta on the Sims at the Royal? Did I hear that right?
Do you want to go play it one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be terrible. I might shoot like 180, but that would be a blast.
Well, let's see if Pollock would hook that up.
Maybe we do the show from there.
That's not happening.
Well, at least it's not a budget issue.
Not happening. It's too much to move around.
Where do I bet on this competition?
You don't have just if you're betting on me to finish second, that'd be where you go.
I'm an
awful
sim golfer. The putting and chipping just gets me. I can't do that. Yeah, man. It's legit. All the shots. It's pretty cool. Pretty. That's the closest
I love it.
Get
Let's do it.
Playing Augusta National.
Yeah, or even seeing it. Yeah.
A guy said to me the other day. When people say, "Well, where else would you rather be?" It was I forget. I said Augusta National. He's like, "You're not." I said, "Yeah, I know." Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk local spring football.
Love it.
In the Queen City and surrounding area. It is the Sports Cage, Sharky, the C's. Thanks for tuning in on this Thursday for Access Communications, streaming at sportscage.com and on X. Welcome back. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Crofty texted in.
Oh boy.
Tiger torch coming over so I can melt the snow on my driveway. He says, I'll bring the torch, tank, case of beer, and my lounger to watch. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, Crafty. It's going to be fun.
Saturday mid-morning. It's mid to late morning. Let's do it.
All right.
What are you doing? Gardening?
I'm free now. I'm wide open now.
It is Thursday. There's always specials at your local Western Pizza. If you want to pick up or if you just want to go sit down, all the Greek favorites you like, not just pizza. Try the lasagna. I tell you, it's one of the best around. Souvlaki, ribs, salad, all that. Western Pizza guest hotline. Let's go out there right now. Joining us from Regina Minor Football, Len Antonini. Now, Len, a little bit of snow on the streets and all that. I totally forgot that we're doing spring football these days. Like it is, football's a big deal. It's always been a big deal in Regina. How do you break down spring football to people that are listening, kids, athletes? How do we get them in?
Well, the spring football, it's a high school spring football, so it's for the high school kids, grade 9, 10, or 11. You have to be in high school to play it. But more for the players that are, want to play at the next level, like whether they want to play at, be the star on their high school team or move on to the Thunder or the Rams or the, any CIS or junior program. It starts on the 7th of April and it runs for 6 weeks. It's what we do is we usually have about 240 kids come out, and we start on the 7th, go for 4 days. We have a evaluation and a football SAS, what they call a developmental camp. And then on Friday that week, we do a draft of 4 teams and then play 4 games the next 4 weeks.
That's a cool idea. So it's all draft. It's not like these kids are playing from areas or they're all picking their all-star teams. It's a draft. How many years has this been running?
You know what, to be honest with you, I think it's about 12 or 13 years. I can't remember. I started it when I was coaching Team Saskatchewan because we couldn't evaluate the kids. We had trouble evaluating the kids for our U18 program. So we started it, and this football is probably some of the best high school football because we get, the best 230 kids from South Saskatchewan, and then we cut it down to about 160 to 170 kids, with some pretty good coaching and that type of thing. The draft, we actually do the draft on Facebook live and draft each position, nice. And the coaches get up. It's a blast. It's a blast. The kids love it. Kids love it.
Lenny, are the coaches the other high school coaches, or are you taking them from different elements to bring them to these kids? Is it the same group they're going to see? How does that all work out with the coaching staff?
Well, the coaching staffs we select them. Like we put it out to certain group of coaches. And we've got Paul Harrison from the Rams has a group of guys that are together. They have Nate Gowdy from Tom Collegiate. He brings in a group of guys, and then Kelly Adams from the city champion Campbell Tartans has a group of guys that he does it, and then Drew Bars from the Riffle Royals. Drew's also one of the U16 or U17 coaches for Football Saskatchewan. So they put the coaching staff together. They watch the guys for 4 days. We bring in a real good group of coaches to run the evaluation camp. We have some of the best Ram coaches and the Thunder coaches and guys that come out, and Ryan Hall puts them all together, and they go for, they work out all week. We have a little scrimmage on Thursday night, and then we go to the draft on Friday night. And it's we do it quite a bit like drafts actually go, where it works out pretty good. It's a lot of fun.
I'll bet it's pretty entertaining. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Great.
You've been around the game your whole life, and you do an amazing job with what you do. So you said this is about 12 years and you started it. So when you go back 15, 20 years, I remember when I played, there was no spring football. Wish there was. That would have been awesome. What has this done for development?
Well, like I say, we try not to interfere with the other sports. We go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and that. But for development, I think that what this really does is it prepares these guys for the U18 program. And, I don't know, a lot of people don't follow our U18 program, but the U18 Team Saskatchewan is outstanding. Like we compete every year. Over the last 17 years, we've done great at the U18 level. And the only teams besides Saskatchewan that have won gold in the last 17 years are Ontario and Quebec. And we've won 5 golds or something to that effect, and a couple silvers. And so it really prepares these guys, get them back into, football, getting game ready for that tough weekend at the end of June, beginning of July.
Are there any names that have gone through this program that you can throw out? Maybe went on to college, youth sport careers.
Yeah, like Picton, Noah Picton.
There we go.
I remember Noah talking about he played 12. He got to play 12 extra high school football games because of the spring league and played with good players that were drafted. Like the best players are playing. And you're playing against the best players. So the best defensive backs, the best receivers, everybody's out there playing it. It makes you a lot better. It improves the game. There's quite a few guys. I don't throw out names. I can barely remember much anymore, but there's lots of kids that we've gone through and even gone on to play in the CFL and stuff. Last year in one of the CFL games, I think there was 6 or 5 players and one coach from RMF that were in that game between BC and Saskatchewan.
That's fantastic.
And that's really not what we're about. But this program is this one is for our elite. We have this spring league program that's for the kids that high school kids that want to go on. Then we have a U16 program at this time too. That's kind of a feeder program for the U18, and it's for kids that want to play at the next level. So they play against the best players, and in the U16 we have a team South Saskatchewan, a team North Saskatchewan. We play a Prairie Bowl against Saskatoon Minor Football, Regina Minor Football. A couple games. It's a blast too. That we do that at the end of May, beginning of June, with our U16 program.
So that was my question to you, Lenny. Does this go beyond Regina? Like does Swift Current, Weyburn, Estevan, Moose Jaw, do they all have these, Saskatoon, or is it just Regina that's got it going?
No, I think some of them have, I think some of them have different levels of. We have players from Weyburn that have signed up. We've had Swift Current guys sign up, Moose Jaw, Swift, Yorkton. If they want to commit to driving in, it's Monday, Tuesday. You practice Monday, Tuesday, play a game Wednesday. So it's a big commitment, but we get lots of guys that, like right now, I was looking at it the other day, and I think we have 5-6 guys from Moose Jaw, and there's 2 or 3 names from Weyburn, other little towns, Lumsden, those guys all come. Yeah, look, it's open to anybody in southern Saskatchewan that wants to come and try out, as long as you're willing to drive in, and some guys are pretty crazy about it. So
yeah, how do people get in if they got an athlete that they want to put in?
Just go to our website at www.reginaminorfootball.ca. You register online. You're not guaranteed to play, but it's like the camp that we run from the developmental camp is one of the best camps that there is in Regina and Saskatchewan, and I would put it against anywhere in Canada actually, with the coaches that we get out at it and how we do things. With the facility that we have, we're so fortunate, to be able to do the things that we can do.
Right on, Len. All right, you can go to the website and find out more. Thanks for taking some time today and hopping on.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you guys having me.
Right on.
For sure.
I'll see you, Lenny.
Thanks a lot. I'll see you.
From Regina Minor Football. If you got an athlete that you think wants to play a little spring ball, that's cool. The draft would be really cool.
It would be fun. Yeah, would be
Facebook
fun.
Live.
Yeah. See where you go in the draft. See how you work out.
And there's
want to beat the next guy.
There's kids that'll drive in.
And
play.
Doubt. Yeah.
No, that's when you think about it, driving an hour and a half. When you're down in the States or the big cities, Toronto, anywhere,
it could take
you're
you
driving an hour to practice all the time.
Exactly. Not even think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We will go to a break. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming. Thanks to everyone who's watching that. Hammer the like button. Curtis gets paid on more if there's more likes.
More likes.
SportsCage.com.
Curtis loves it.
We're on Twitter as well, and on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. You can hit us up on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262, like Roscoe did. He sent in, look at this contraption. Can you lean over here that he texted in?
Oh, I see that. Little front end loader. Little.
No, what's that called? The
backhoe?
bucket.
Yeah.
Is that a backhoe?
Excavator.
Sort of yeah. It's a mini excavator.
Yes, it's a mini one.
Yeah. I don't think Prairie Land would rent me one of those, to be honest with you, to remove snow. So, thanks, Roscoe, though. obviously back from Hawaii. He's not sending us pictures of him on the beach anymore.
That's a nice change.
That was a flex. I didn't mind it. Okay, so I just want to go. If you're watching the stream right now, and if not, we'll paint this picture. I want to go back to golf, and the memorial is on. Did you see the 6th hole? What they did?
No.
At this golf course?
Go ahead. Show me.
TP, or the Players Stadium course.
Where it's sawgrass? Is that right?
Yeah, look at this. There's this tree now. For this tee shot, you have to flight it under that tree. This is.
So did they put the tree there? Or was it there before and they just cut it?
No, I think they probably moved a tee box to there.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
What you're picturing, people, is a tee box behind a massive tree that you would find in what area of Regina would have old trees like that? What's Cathedral?
Somewhere along the creek, yeah.
And you have to flight the ball under this massive tree. If this
tree, 30-foot high branch that you got to go underneath, and no other option.
Yes. If this tree was at the Royal Regina where we play golf,
I'd cut it down in the middle of the night.
How many people would be complaining? Guys complain about everything. There's the guys I play with. They would be like, "Oh, there used to be a tree on 10, and I'd try and when I used to hit the fade, and I just hit it wherever, and I was like, can we get rid of that tree? And then it died. And they got rid of it, and I was like, yes. But now it's actually I hit it worse off that tee because it's more wide open. Yeah, that's.
There's a couple on 9 on the tee box off 9 that I might, if they're missing in the middle of the night, call me.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they would do that to professional golf and make it that much tougher. Because what is it? It's 17's the island green.
Yeah,
isn't it? I think Sawgrass. So. And then 18 is a demanding tee shot as well, especially if there's wind. Because you got water everywhere.
I always say they're the pros. If they're so good, make it happen, right? You and I'd have to play from there. We'd have to, chip under that thing, use a 3-iron or something. There's no way we could do that with a driver.
Text in.
Go ahead.
People paying attention. Thanks, Scotty. He said they moved the tree from a different part of the course. Can you go back to that video? How the heck did they move that tree? Spade. Wow.
That's a big tree spade.
I don't want to ever hear excuses again that we can't get trees on golf courses. And if some human beings did that.
Yeah, that's a big tree spade would have been involved in moving that tree.
That's not the thing that Roscoe sent us.
No, I don't believe
mini
that.
Excavator.
Yeah, that mini excavator did not do that.
When Pete Dye designed the course way back in the day, there used to be a tree like that there. Yeah, I did read that. So then they did put it back. I can see
how they would have pruned that or cut that.
No, they moved it there. Look it up.
All right.
Look it up. It's on there. It's on Villegas. Camilo Villegas now leads at -7. He's on the 15th hole. So he's just getting closer to the island green. That's your memorial update. Tonight, in and around the area, no games tonight in the SJHL. Western Hockey League, a night off. Saskatoon Blades are absolutely pumped to be driving a Swift Current on this weird road trip that they're on. I think they're actually hitting up Western Pizza.
Really?
Coming through town.
Nice. There's
this craziness. What is this now? Some sort of schedule.
What do we got?
On the stream. In the AAA or in the Prairie Junior Hockey League, we're going to talk later to Madden Wallis from Fort Knox. They start 7:30 in the Fort Saturday, not tonight. So game 1 of that best of 7 South Division PJHL series will go tonight. We got senior hockey. Raymore Lumsden in Raymore.
Game 1?
Oh. Game 1 of the QVHH final, yeah.
Wow.
The Lumsden boys got a lot of hockey right now because they're doing this. Then Saturday they got to regroup and they got provincial game 2 against Round Lake.
What happened in game 1? I missed that.
Lumsden won.
What was the score?
3-1. I think.
Okay.
3-0, 3-1.
Is that back in Lumsden? Game 2?
You didn't hear this yesterday?
No.
Like Tuesday?
No.
I was going to start listening to the show on Tuesday, Sharky. It's going to be mandated.
I was sitting with a client.
We'll get the paperwork done up.
Hey, I found some information.
1,250 tickets to the game in Lumsden.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I talked about this on the podcast.
Well, no, I didn't hear it.
back. Sorry, buddy. 1,250 tickets to the game Saturday in Lumsden
Sold out?
in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was on Tuesday. So the game isn't until Saturday. I'm starting to get messages. The Monday Nooner has a hilarious tweet somebody put up at it's a picture of a ticket and it says $100 OBO, no lowball offers. But it's crazy, man. Like, so many people are gonna want come Saturday. It's gonna have the FOMO thing, and
Yeah.
people are gonna want to go. There might be a few walk-ups, but that place is going to be
Full.
jammed. Started. I am serious when I say this, and I'm really contemplating because I'm going to get there late. So I'm going to Game 2, Pat Blues and Prairie Storm at the Ritchie. I might take a milk crate.
Just so you can stand in the second row.
Yeah, because last year I remember Donnie Uran and I from Extreme Hockey were there, and I'm like, we can't see. I said, what we really need is a milk crate, like they do in Prince Albert.
Yeah.
When the Communiplex or Hauser would get packed. You see it in senior games as well.
Yeah. Lots of rinks have them.
It could be milk crate
Bring
season.
your milk crate for the second row.
All these grocery stores that just leave them hanging around in the back. They might.
That's how you get a ticket to standing room is you have to show up with a milk crate so that they know you've got somewhere to stand and see. That's what Lumsden should do. You know what? They should be broadcasting this.
Yeah, it will be somewhere.
Yeah, somebody's got to pick that up.
Yeah, but that's so back. Anyways, tonight, Raymore Lumsden. That's the QVHL at the launch pad. 8:30 puck drop on a Thursday. Yeah, there we go. The Lumsden spouses.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're not getting home till when, and then tomorrow, and then you got to play Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then Sask East. If you're out in Rokenville, Game 3, Esterhazy Rokenville tonight. Esterhazy trying to stay alive in that one. What do we got here?
Just hang on. I found some more information on this tree.
Let's go to break, and then
Okay.
we're going to hear Sharky's gardening horticultural segment. It's a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Apparently, Highway 11, Hanley, Craik to Hanley is terrible.
It's always terrible.
Was it snowing, or is it just the
no,
potholes and like the
there's-
roads breaking apart?
There's supposed to be some sort of storm coming through with ice and wind and everything else. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heads up if you're traveling up to Saskatoon, or from Saskatoon to Regina, or to Kenaston or Dundurn.
If you'd listened to the weather
Merce Tavern.
when the news was on, you'd have heard that.
I was busy.
Okay.
I was busy watching this tree that's taken over the show today. The sixth hole at TPC, where they're playing the tournament.
So originally, there was a tree that hung over the tee box to force you to play.
Like our text in, Scott said.
Yep. In the original Pete Dye design.
Said that too.
Okay. They moved one. I didn't think you could do this. They moved a tree about 100 yards, and it was 500,000 pounds.
Who weighed it?
Weights and measures from the federal government. I don't know who weighed it.
How many yards?
100 yards.
Has anyone
500,000.
ever? Maybe it's just me. Has anyone ever seen
Like
a massive tree moved like that?
yeah, I have never even heard of somebody doing that.
Colson, always on the ball. Allegedly, he's clipping up a video here. If you're going to be watching the stream, that
I'm still working on it. They've got a bunch of documentary filler in it.
maybe an hour or two. Well, but that is
It's huge. Like that was a big deal. Oh my God.
and how it looks.
Like it was like moving a building. It's with hydraulics.
Like when that guy's hitting the tee shot,
yeah,
it looks like it's been there forever.
it does. They did a really nice job putting it in there.
This would be a cue for somebody to play that video of that guy hitting that tee shot, because the tree looks like it's been there forever.
There's the bell.
You got to flight it down.
You do.
Yeah, we're talking.
I'd hit that tree every time.
Wow.
Every time.
And then there's water on the left. It looks like on the one.
So I'd hit the tree, it would bounce into the water. That's what
What
happened.
an undertaking that would be. I know they moved a tree into Waskesiu when they got rid of the original lobstick tree because it was dying, and then they brought in a smaller one.
Middle.
Yeah, and that it's getting bigger now. It's kind of cool every year to see it. It's been probably 10, 12-ish years. But that was just like a little guy.
Yeah.
But whatever these guys are doing down in Florida,
wow.
these are smart men. See the water on the left there?
Yeah, I can see that.
If you're on the radio, there's a massive tree that Sharky says is very heavy that you have to hit your ball underneath, and there's water left, so you got to flight it down. How high would that be?
30 feet is my guess.
Yeesh. Well, we'll get the video of them
50
moving
feet?
it for hour 2. Hour 2 is going to start.
Maybe hour 3.
Arash
Based on how long it's taking.
Madani will start that. We'll have the NASCAR report, the clutch performer, and then Darryl Wolski, NHL or NCAA hockey advisor. Some crazy numbers on kids committing to NCAA schools. It's the Sports Cage, always on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. I was just thinking, luckily the Lumsden Arena has access communications, because that Wi-Fi is going to be overload. I think they do, if I remember correctly.
I think they do as well.
Overload Central on Saturday, 1,250 people packed in the Lumsden barn. Thanks to Access Communications, hosting the Sports Cage on Thursdays. Sharky, C&C on the other side. Well, Kolten, and we got half of Curtis today.
Which half do we get?
That's part of the game.
The good half? The bad half?
Part of the game that we play. I was looking at some of I was going to Cool Bet.
Ooh. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Looking at, they're not the senior hockey lines that I was looking at, but some of the NHL futures and if they were changing. And last night, massive game, Calgary and Vancouver. Goes into shootout.
Yep.
Vancouver wins. Calgary was up in that game. So I know that if you're a Canucks fan or Flames fan, things are getting a little dicey down the stretch and you're pulling your hair out, and I feel you. If you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, woof.
Yeah, different set of issues.
Maybe Arash want to touch on that. Let's go. Let's talk to the man.
The big man.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Really need to talk to Brian Gawley, too. About some investment stuff and what's happening and going on there. There he is in a Columbus Blue Jackets t-shirt.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Is that? Are you going to be? Are you riding Columbus into the postseason? They're in a wild card spot as we speak.
Would you like to know the origin of this? Because I actually have a Columbus Blue Jackets wardrobe.
Oh,
please.
Right down to shoes?
Not shoes. I have shorts, sweats, long sleeve, a couple of T-shirts, even a golf shirt and a toque. Why? Well, as you guys know, I live in Toronto. And every single time the Leafs are in the playoffs, I bet my Leaf buddies on the first round series. And I'm like, listen, if the Leafs win, I'll buy you a Leaf long sleeve T-shirt, toque, whatever of choice.
Mock turtleneck.
And if the Bruins, the Capitals, the Lightning, on and on and on win, you got to get me something Blue Jackets. And so now... And so now I have a wardrobe of jackets here. And the best part, boys, was during the COVID bubble, the Jackets beat the Leafs in the playoffs. So the next day I'm walking through the streets of Toronto rocking my favorite Blue Jackets shirt. So
that'll make you popular in certain circles. Yeah. Yeah. Limited, but certain circles. Yeah.
The glares I got that day. It was a beautiful sunny summer day too, because remember, it was COVID, so everything got delayed a couple of months. So it was a beautiful, sunny summer day.
Not to bury the lead here, but a tough and an interesting day for you. But things and with the industry that we're in, things happen. All of that. You and Sportsnet have decided to part ways. Yeah,
16 years I've been at the network, and like you, Barney, as you said, we know what we sign up for. This is a volatile industry. Change is just happening all the time. My name came up this week, and that was that. And you're disappointed, you're upset. All those things are real, and it's true. And like, you almost have to I remember Steve Young talking about the end of his NFL career. He said it's almost like a death. Like, you feel like the stages of grief when something like this happens. I think anybody listening or watching who's been through a job change has dealt with that. But then I just thought about, like, I'm from Truro, Nova Scotia. I got to the Masters and Wimbledon and Olympics and Super Bowls and the NBA Finals and the World Series. And, like, they paid me to be there. You know what I mean? Like,
Good way to look at it.
How can I be mad about that? I got to do play-by-play. I got to, interview all these people. Derek Jeter, Christine Sinclair, Roger Federer, like David Beckham. Like, what? Me? So, yeah, like, you're upset, it stings, it hurts, but like, you also have so much gratitude because I got to work with some awesome people along the way. And then, shoot, I've met you two jokers through all of this. So, I'm
pretty flattered.
There you go.
No, you know what though? Like, it's funny. I'm not going to say this to be cheesy by any means, but it just kind of happened today before I even heard the news. And a guy goes, I really like Arash. I really like Arash on there. Like, those are fun. Those are fun segments. And I was like,
fun segments.
Yeah. And I didn't know you from a hole in the ground for that. We learned a lot. We learned about Toronto, Nova Scotia. We learned about Lucky Loggers and
Stanfield's Underwear Company
and Hammer Throw School.
Hey, there we go, Sharky. Here's the other interesting part. Like, in what we do, it's obviously front facing and it's like a public thing. So sometimes people think they kind of know you, they watch you, they listen to you, etc. So when you like publicly announce, like I had to today on social media, that things are over, like my phone, and I didn't expect this, my phone blew up today. Calls, messages, texts, my social media went crazy. And it honestly, fellas, it felt like I was at my own funeral. Like, all these people saying all these nice things. I'm like, where have you been the last 16 years when you've been MFing me all this time? Like, now you come out of the woodwork?
Yeah, really? That's right. Exactly. Suck it.
Heard you got fired. Tough day, baby. Tough day.
What kind of sandwiches are they running though? What kind of at your funeral? What would you have there? And Lucky Loggers and roast beef. A roast beef.
I saw the old Dutch chips. I was wondering if Curtis got into those today. I see a few of them are missing from the
old Dutch dropped us off like this display case a little while ago. And this is again made in Winnipeg. Yeah. Manitoba. Old Dutch is as Western Canadian, just that. I take Old Dutch any day of the week over chips made anywhere else, especially their nachos. They have the really cheesy ones, and then they have the spicy taco ones.
Yeah.
Good times, man.
They give me heartburn every time. Every time.
Good time. Yeah, I bet you get heartburn off a lot of stuff.
I do. I got some issues. Yeah.
Pheasant pie guy.
No, the pheasant pie does not give me heartburn.
But you know what, though, Arash, and I'm sure you mentioned all the messages and the phone calls. Wait till you get the mail. Wait till all the people that still send mail, that starts rolling in. But there's got to be people reaching out already, because how the industry has changed and it's volatile, and it's right here when they asked me, hey, do you want to go on the air and do this 3 hours a day? First off, I had no idea how much work to be 3 hours a day, unless you just want to. If you want to mail it in, sure. But then you get guys like Sharky, right, and Colson.
It's not in our DNA. That's no fun. You don't want to mail it in. Look at what an opportunity we have,
Yeah. And you get the boys on the other side, Colson. Even if it's half a Curtis, that's a good day. Like, really, what are we doing here? They're not saving lives. We're having fun. But you got to have some opportunities, because you are so tied in. You do such a good job, for starters, and it might actually be a little bit of a blessing.
Yeah, here's hoping. It's been an awesome chapter. Like, 16 years is a long time. Think about this, fellas. Like, 16 years ago when I first started, Twitter was just getting off the ground. Instagram didn't really exist. There were no such thing as streaming services. TikTok was that clock on your grandfather or grandmother's, Chesterfield. I mean, like, And now think of the ways we consume things, how we read and watch and listen and all those things. Everything's evolving so quickly. So yeah, I mean, it's an altogether new world out there. I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be. I want to take a little bit of time to clear the head because I haven't had a break in quite a while. But I'm really interested to see not only what's out there, but try and kind of project what the next streaming service will be, what the next kind of future of content consumption is, and how people are going to want to consume it.
I always say one of the best things about sport when it comes to looking for a job is when you change, they let the world know that you're not with them anymore. So when you get fired from the bank or you leave the bank, nobody knows. You're just not there. But in sports, they tell everybody he's not with us anymore. So everybody goes, hey, I got to find that guy. I got to look him up. I want him to come work for me. So one of the best things about sports is they tell everybody.
They tell everybody.
That's right.
It's fun. A friend of mine in the baseball world reached out and just, the three magic words, WTF. And I responded with my own three words, which is DFA. In baseball, they always say designated for assignment is when you get, sent down to minors or released. I said, I got DFA'd, so just waiting to clear waivers and then get to full free agency. So it's been, honestly, guys, like, again, it's not fun and it stings in a lot of ways. But I've heard from a lot of people today that I have not heard from in a long time. And you just never know, like, and somebody brought up, like, an interaction we had and, like, how I stood up for them in a Blue Jays locker room one time a few years ago. I'm like, wow, I don't even remember that. Like, it's funny, like, how you can sometimes make an impact on people. And that's been kind of one of the gratifying parts of this entire thing.
And you never know what's out there till there's an opportunity comes in front of you. Exactly. And often people will say, well, he's tied in there and we can't get him out of there. We can't make that happen. But now there's going to be opportunities that you never even knew existed show up on your doorstep.
You've given this speech to buddies about marriage before, haven't you?
Well, fellas, let the record show that on the 13th day of March, 2025, at 18:18 p.m. Eastern Time, I am now formally putting in my candidacy for commissioner of the Canadian Football League.
How about that? We thought it was coming.
Yeah, I'm an unrestricted free agent. I'd like to ask the two of you to advocate on my behalf, and let's make this happen. Let's make the push to Wellington Street.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Yeah. We're easy to trick.
So now we introduce him to the fellow. And then maybe it's a duo.
A duo goes in.
Why?
Duo?
Why could it only be one guy?
Yeah.
Why can't it be two? Why can't it be a
co-commissioner thing?
Consortium.
And I promise whoever this fellow is, you will have matching Columbus Blue Jackets lapel pins when we go in to meet with the board of directors, the board of governors, because that'll show we mean business.
Nothing says right to the top like a CBJ pin.
That's right. Right.
I don't even know where to go on that one. Yeah, nothing will mean. Okay, let's go off. Let's go on to sports here. Who's gonna throw the football in Pittsburgh? Is there a betting line out there? Can I go to CoolBet? Is there a betting line?
Yeah, let's check that.
You know what? I think the most fascinating part about this, fellas, I don't think I've ever seen, heard, remembered a situation where a team in free agency, first free agency starts, they trade for a number one receiver, then they pay him $150 million, and then they're like, yeah, we don't know 4 days in who's going to be throwing you the ball. Like, you talk about the cart before the horse. Like, okay, you bring in Metcalf, great, but, like, what are you doing? It's fascinating, and I don't know. Are they waiting for Aaron Rodgers? I just can't see Mike Tomlin wanting Aaron Rodgers in his building. I just don't see.
I feel that, and this is just me. I think that something isn't right there
with Aaron Rodgers.
And then the Pittsburgh's already saying, well, if it's going to be like this and we don't even have him signed yet, we out.
Yeah.
But now what's the other option? Atlanta.
Yeah.
What are you doing with 2 quarterbacks?
And no offense, why does Aaron Rodgers have to play? Like,
right.
He's a name. He's just a name.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to win.
No,
but I mean, look at the names moving around right now, Sharky. I mean, Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones and who's there? Who are the other options out there? Aiden Hutchinson and
everybody's hoping they get the next Sam Darnold showing up.
Gardner Minshew Jr. Or Gardner Minshew the third, rather.
But everybody's hoping they get the next Sam Darnold situation showing up, where the guy has the year of his life. That's all they're hoping.
There might be a point here where you go to Russell Wilson and you say, "Hey, play the song Baby Come Back." Whatever. You might need that guy in the worst way.
And they're going to need each other, right? Because Russ is not going to have a landing spot either. Like when Justin Fields is getting decent quarterback money. Here's the other question. Who's quarterbacking the Giants?
Who finished there last year?
Tommy DeVito.
Danny DeVito or Tommy DeVito?
Right.
Tommy, Danny's nephew.
Wow. There's some holes. There's some holes out there.
I know we've talked about this so many times. I just find it to be the most fascinating job on earth from the standpoint of you have multi-billion-dollar organizations. Let's just take one step back. Think about any business out there, any big business, car company, soft drink company, beer company, telecom, whatever, multi-billion-dollar corporation. And a football team's a multi-billion-dollar corporation where the biggest demand for a job, for a position, is quarterback. And there's the smallest supply out there. You can find a CEO, a CFO, a whatever in any organization, a plumber. But man, this is the position that is so vital for a $7 billion business. And there are so few of them out there that are up for grabs.
Go ahead, Martin.
The position that I was always, from when I was a young age, that people always said, this would pay you so much money, and there's nobody that wants to do the job, or not a lot of people that can do the job. Do you know what it is?
Manure spreading?
No.
Oh.
Underwater welder.
Yes. Very highly paid. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I hung out with some pretty wild people.
Wow.
How well do you know me? I can't even get my driveway taken care of.
You're trying to rent the Tiger Torch. So here's my question to the quarterback thing. Are they stuck on that he's got to have a previous experience? Why has there not been a little more invasion of the Canadian Football League to go, let's take one of those? I don't get why they're still on this Rodgers, Wilson, Cousins train. Why can't we build and develop somebody?
I mean, Sharky, to be fair, the player, and this, again, no disrespect to Brady Oliveira, but the best player in the Canadian Football League was a defensive back from the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year. The point is, when the supply is so limited, when you're paying quarterbacks $40 million, when the supply is so limited there, what's left over when you're paying them 400, 500, 600 up here?
That's true.
And there wasn't a quarterback who lit the world on fire last year in the CFL. Caleros was okay. Rourke, yikes. Vernon, yeah, okay, but at his age, so there hasn't been that young phenom who has come in, and you're saying to yourself, all right, I think Bo 10 years ago was that guy, but
yeah, there's no Jeff Garcia kicking around. Yeah. I get that.
I'm waiting and I'm hoping that somebody throws it out there. Colin Kaepernick. It seems like every year somebody.
You think he's got to be out of shape now?
Yeah. Has anyone seen it? What if he shows up like Adam Sandler when he went like forever, and then he showed up and it was like that guy ate Adam Sandler. But yeah, I'm waiting for Kaepernick.
Kaepernick's last year of playing football, like,
Was it before COVID?
Oh, like way before.
Oh,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
maybe.
Are we all looking it up at the same time?
Yeah.
2016
I
was
was
the last. We're
9
coming up on
years
10
ago.
years. Yeah,
Holy
that?
smokes.
And how old is
2016
he?
was the last year he played football.
But how
I think
old is he
37,
now?
38,
Yeah.
37, 38, I'd say.
37.
He wasn't that. I don't think he was that good. He was very athletic, and he had the 1 year. They went to the ship, but nah. Hey, good news though on the Canadian front to the NFL. The Cowboys signed Canadian offensive lineman Dakota Shepley, another 2-year contract. Former Saskatchewan Roughriders, cup of coffee with the Riders, so that
I played a year.
bodes well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long career. I totally forgot how long this guy's been in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just give a quick shout out, speaking of Canadians. Kid from Brampton by the name of Joshua Palmer. The Chargers drafted him in the 5th round a few years ago out of the University of Tennessee. Was one of those, hey, can he make it? It's a stacked wide receiver group at the time. They're in San Diego. This is how long ago it was, not LA. And not only has he survived in the league, guys, he just signed a $36 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. He's going to catch balls from the NFL MVP, and they have Khalil Shakir there, and they have a couple of tight ends there, and they're going for it. I think a very underrated name in the NFL to keep an eye on this year is Brampton, Ontario's Joshua Palmer, who in that offense, everybody's coming back on the coaching staff, might very well sneak into he'd be a really good fantasy sleeper for you. We're talking fantasy football, March 13th. But yeah.
It never stops.
That is $51,956,000 Canadian. If he
Not
plays
bad.
out that contract. That's like
That's a nice
winning
gig.
a big Lotto Max up here in Canada.
Good
He
for
will
him.
make more. Now, sorry, what was that number? What was that number? 51?
Just shy of 52.
Just shy of 52. So the exchange rate is $15 million. That's more than the salary cap of 2 CFL teams. Joshua Palmer is just making on the exchange rate.
Yeah.
Just making on the exchange rate. God bless him. Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah. I know it's been a busy day for you.
Yeah.
Go run to the nearest store and grab yourself some Luckies.
I definitely will.
Treat yourself, and then do the exact same thing tomorrow morning when you wake up. And then
Because you got nothing to do tomorrow.
and then we'll circle back on Tuesday. And I want you to
might
show
need
up
a
looking hungover.
I might need a couple of Advils tomorrow morning if I'm going to follow this lead. But I appreciate both of you guys, and thanks for being awesome about this.
Hey, you know what?
man.
Nothing but the best is going to happen to you.
Exactly. Watch this.
Yeah. It's going to be outstanding.
Watch what happens.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Go get
I
drunk.
appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Take care.
See ya,
Thanks,
Rash.
Rash.
Rash Madani joining us, Western Pizza guest hotline, and it's always for smart investing solutions. Brian Golly, be smart with your money. You can call him and his team at 546-2533. I am just, he did text in the other day, wanting to come on.
Just now.
Brian did?
Yeah, he texted in. Best wishes to Arash and Arash for CFL commissioner.
All right. Oh, yeah. We got another podium we're on. Rash for CFL
Brian's
commissioner.
a beauty.
He is.
You know what I found out the other day? I asked a guy.
You're broke?
I asked what but no. So people buy gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are they actually physically buying gold? Are they buying like paper and like it's just trading and all that? And then the guy was like, no, some people actually go to a bank and they buy gold and they put it away and then they sell it. I'm like, you can just buy a cube of gold and put it in some sort of
You buy
velvet
like one of those
pouch?
Yeah, one of those blocks, right?
I had I'm 47 years old, I think. And I had no idea that's how it worked.
I'm not going to lie to you. You're ahead of me on this. I didn't have any idea how that worked.
Really?
Yeah, not a clue.
The things you learn on this show.
I know about stocks and securities and things like that. Gold,
trees. And we are the place if you are looking to invest. But we're just going to tell you to call Brian Golly. That's how it'll work.
We got a guy.
We got a guy. 546-2533. All right. Let's take a break. It's coming up. We're going to be talking soon with Darryl Wolski, NCAA advisor, finding out how many kids are committing to NCAA colleges and from what leagues they are. But when we come back, it'll be Clutch Performer and into NASCAR report. SportsCage streaming on X.
Think of. From the ice to the field to the court, Cool Bet has you covered. All at your fingertips. No risk, just thrill. So why wait? Get in the game and embrace the unexpected at coolbet.co.
It's time to turn up the heat on trades at Crestview. For a limited time, get a $2,500 trade-in bonus on any trade-in. We're going to work to get you the same or similar payment to what you got right now. And we got something for everybody. Over 200 brand new vehicles, Jeeps, Rams, Caravans, and so much more. Plus, Capital's 100K giveaway is back in Crestview. Check out capital100k.ca for your chance to win. We're turning up the heat on trades at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
All the equipment and farmland you could need will be up for bid in the Ritchie Brothers 2025 Spring Ag Sales, starting March 19th, featuring over 55 farm auctions across Western Canada. These unique auctions are conducted entirely online, but equipment and property are always available for you to inspect during an in-person visit. Register today and get ready to bid on a variety of assets that include tractors, combines, sprayers, trucks, trailers, farmland, and more. Visit rbauction.com.
Backed by countless farmers and contractors, Fendt 1167 Track Tractor sets the standard for seating, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring CVT transmission, 670 horsepower, 2 rear hydraulic pumps, and easy maneuvering. The Fendt 1167 Track Tractor is backed by a 3-year, 3,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crop successful, visit Nick's Service today, nickservice.com.
Hey, we're Harvard Media. A few times a year, we love to get together with our favorite businesses and throw a good old-fashioned classic auction. There's nothing like waiting until the last minute, battling out other bidders, and claiming your prize. We're looking for businesses to join up for our next one. All we need from you is an experience, service, or item like a gift card. In return, we'll serve you up a top-tier ad campaign. No cash needed. This is a trade deal. Check out harvardmedia.com for info. Terms and conditions apply.
The SportsCage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer.
Could be you.
I'm going to go here. I'm going to keep it local on the local front. Liam Rogers, goaltender for Prairie Storm, Bantam AA, and Thomas Sirois, goalie for the Pat Blues. They played last night, game 1. Both goalies, unbelievable.
Nice.
Thomas stopped like 35 shots because Prairie Storm's really good. Pat Blues hung on for dear life. Empty netter, lost 3-1. And Liam Rogers on the other end, kicking. Big kid. Takes up, he played well.
Takes up a lot of net.
And then also, let's go Pat Canadians. Regina Pat Canadians dumped Saskatoon Blazers 5-2 yesterday. Eli John, we've said these guys, we said their name a lot on this program because they're really good. Eli Johnson, Maddox Schultz, Jonas Sievertson, all had 1 goal, 2 assists in that win. Taylor Tabashniuk, 33 saves in the win. Game 2, Friday, Saskatoon, 8 p.m. on the west side.
On the west side, home of Barney Shinkaruk.
You guys, do you guys have one?
I got one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To the crew moving this tree at the 6th hole. So I literally clipped the full documentary down. So it's now about 90 seconds, a little bit longer than that.
Good work.
So
that's the original tree.
That's the original tree there. So what happened, what I read kind of quickly, is the tree got sick. So they had to cut it down. There's a little montage coming up soonish here where they cut it down. And then that's what it looks like without the tree at all.
You can see the former spot, yes.
Yeah, so they bring the tree down, and then, they move this other tree. It's probably, I want to say, 10, 15 feet back from where the first tree was.
Closer to the tee box.
Look at if you're not watching the stream, they were talking about a massive tree that they moved at TPC Sawgrass, where they're playing right now PGA, and it is a massive tree.
Yeah, this wasn't like one of those trucks with the scoopers on the back. Where
Smart marketing right there.
Yep.
Yeah, they got the company label on the tree as they move it. Yeah, but it looks like they built a bed for it out of wood, and then did these long pipes where they probably inflated them with water, is my guess, because that's the least compressible. And then literally just moved these pipes in front, rolled it onto the pipes, and just rolled it however many yards they had to move it. Had a big hole waiting for it,
This is a fascinating watch.
Yeah, I highly recommend you go look this video up of moving the tree.
Good job, Colson.
Yeah.
So what, as a horticulturalist, expert, Sharky, they're just basically that tree is staying alive because there's such a big mound of dirt.
There's a big root ball. Root ball is a technical term.
And then so it's staying alive, then they plant it, and then it all just singes together.
Because the root ball stayed intact, so they're just filling it with more dirt around there and more soil, and the tree. So obviously it's got a very narrow root, shallow root base, because it only looked like they had about 3 feet of root ball for that thing that they dragged across the golf course. So that's a pretty big commitment to move that. Like, that would have been millions.
And TPC Sawgrass, they're doing okay.
They're doing okay.
They're doing okay.
They're covering the bills.
And then now look at all the publicity around this tree.
Yeah,
I want to go play there. Can't afford it, but I want to go play there. Just try and knife one underneath that thing. I just
don't want the Royal to get any ideas of moving any trees closer to the tee box or getting them hang over somewhere.
They could put
stupid willows on 9 got to go.
They could put a few where guys don't get hit. When I hit the ball, and then it's like their guys are teeing off on a certain hole instead of putting up a fence. Because it's tight there.
Which spot is that? 7?
Oh, buddy. Lots of spots. Lots of spots. Okay, and then my last one. I forget who scored the goal now. Montour?
4 seconds in.
Last night, Seattle was...
In overtime.
Yeah, in overtime, 3-on-3 in the NHL. Montreal, Seattle. Off the face-off. Montour scores. Well, everyone's tried that play. I had no idea that you could score a goal from a face-off in 4 seconds.
That is probably as fast as you can do it.
I would have thought 5. Look. The centerman goes ahead. Anyone that's played hockey, you've seen this before. But remember, there's no defenseman because it's 3-on-3. So he just goes ahead. Montour picks it up, snaps it.
High glove, done.
Top bunk.
So who's 48? Is that Hudson?
Is that Lehner?
I think so.
The rookie, yeah.
Yeah. He got introduced to Linda Ronstadt. Blue Bayou.
Welcome to the NHL.
Yeah. -1.
As soon as you say that, I think Aaron Neville. That song. Clutch performer. Thanks to Nick's service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077. Into
NASCAR.
Rubbin is racing.
The SportsCage NASCAR Report, where Rubbin is racing, is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. Visit croftelectric.com and on all socials.
Weeks in a row, Christopher Bell won again. Outstanding start to the season. He's won 3 of the 4 races so far. The Toyota he's driving, the Toyota Camry, has just been outstanding. Oh, yeah, thanks for the hat. Yeah, throw me the hat. Nice work, Colson. Appreciate that. Oh, man, I can't believe I forgot the hat. Christopher Bell, 3 weeks in a row. Like I say, his Toyota Camry has just been fantastic.
I'm picturing a guy whipping around in that real Toyota Camry. Learner driver on the back.
They call them the car, but I think there are slight modifications to it. He was just the most dominant race car driver on the track. They go to Vegas this week. Again, very similar to Phoenix in terms of the track layout, size, shape, all the details like that. There's no reason to think Bell can't win his 4th in a row. The record is 10.
Wow.
Yeah. The King, Richard Petty, has 10 races in a row, so he's a long ways from that. But Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell, they are off to a hot start. Remarkably, though, he's not the number one ranked driver in the standings. That is William Byron. William Byron has more points as the points go, but Christopher Bell's right there. This track in Vegas sets up well for all the big cars. Larson, Byron, Bell, Hamlin. Joey Logano has not raced here well and has not raced well all season after winning last year's championship.
He's got the Vegas flu.
He's got the Vegas flu. He could have the Vegas flu, the late night flu that you get in Vegas.
Goes and gets after it.
But it's going to be a great race in Vegas this weekend. And no other special news coming out of the track, but going to be a great race.
No one's fought yet.
There's been some swearing, but no fighting yet. Yeah.
And then what's up with the court case? Anything new?
Nothing new in the court case. I've been trying to follow along, see what's going on. 2311 still has their case against the Paris family who owns NASCAR. They own the whole circuit. I still can't get over that. Somebody owns the whole league.
Unbelievable.
But nothing new. Nothing has changed there. They're still waiting. There's an injunction in place, but they're still waiting for more details.
27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com. You can find them on all the socials. Sponsor of our NASCAR report. Also, apparently, has a Tiger Torch.
Tiger Torch to come over and he will drink beer on your driveway while you try to melt the ice.
This would be actually really funny to see. We're going to talk junior NCAA hockey when we get back. SportsCage streaming on X, sportscage.com, and you can tune us in at 620 CKRM. Welcome back, SportsCage. This is the guy the big boys say.
The big voice guy.
SportsCage. It's for Access Communications. On this Thursday, Access Communications, trusted for rural, home, internet, TV, home security. Access Communications. It's busy, just busy time for hockey. You got playoffs going on, kids. Remember, 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. If there's anything that we should be teeing up tonight locally that we don't know about, we know a couple of senior games, one in Raymore, one in Rock City and Rocanville. But if you want us to shout out, let us know. We could get it on. Western Pizza, awesome pizza. Greek favorites that you love.
So good.
Fall off the bone ribs.
So good.
Souvlaki and a Greek salad. How good would that be tonight? Chuck in a French onion soup. Although French onion soup, you got to eat it at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Never good to deliver.
Don't do it in the truck.
In the truck. I ate a sandwich once a little while ago and onions, and I had no idea how to get that smell out of my vehicle. I'm like, why did I do this? A little thing of vinegar and just let it in there for a night, and it just absorbed it all.
My mom used to use that when we were kids. When my dad was still smoking, then he'd have some people over, and the house would just smell like
I know that smell.
Yeah. My mom would sit out a dish of vinegar, suck it all up. It was gone.
Your mom. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. And talk to him, I don't know, a few months ago, Darryl Wolski, NCAA advisor, joining us. Darryl, nice to see you again. How's it? Is it the busy time of the year? Oh, you wanted a vinegar.
You won't believe this? I have vinegar beside my computer. Anyways, thought I'd bring that up.
What? I need to know why.
Yeah, what's the purpose?
Quick shot here and there or what?
Why do I have vinegar? Because any of the people, Regina people that listen to this, they know that I'm weird with vinegar. I like vinegar on Caesar salads and stuff, and they think I am the weirdest guy ever.
I used to know my buddy's Harry, who comes on the program here. His grandpa used to have at the lake, little thing of vinegar, and then you dip an onion and a piece of steak in the vinegar with like a tomato, and I was like, what the heck is it? So I tried it. I do it.
Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah. They're great on French fries, too. It's a lost art to put it on your fries.
Absolute weird program.
And you know what? When I was in Las Vegas a month ago, and I was with a guy who's the drummer for Slash's band, his name's Brent Fitz. And so we went to a restaurant and says, hey, can I get vinegar, by the way? And Brent looks at me and goes, you're such a Manitoba guy. I says, there's no vinegar there.
Kate, it's been, like I said, it's been a couple months, been a few months since we've had you on, and this whole major junior hockey players are now allowed to go and play NCAA and get partial rides or full rides or whatever after their WHL or Quebec Major Junior League or Ontario League career's done. And then I saw on Twitter, Darryl, that you had, and it was up to March 3rd, the commitments for NCAA schools and where the players are coming from. Now unless this has changed, March 3rd, the WHL is actually in second place. The WHL has had 7, the OHL 3, Quebec Major Junior Hockey League 2. Now let's just start with the Major Junior and all that. Is that a number that you thought would have been realistic? Did you think it would be a little bit higher when this all started? Where are you at on that?
So before I get into this, first of all, I want to send a little quick shout out to Jax Robertson. He loves your show. He's 11 years old. He plays for PHA hockey. And anyways, I just want to say a little shout out to Jax. He's a great kid.
Cool.
Anyway, to answer your question, the numbers were shocking to me. Like when I first did it, when I put the first tweet out, the information I sent your producer was as current as I could get. And when I was looking at these numbers, and like, it's not flattering for your hoodie, for example, for the SJHL. It's not flattering for the MJHL or the AJHL or the OJHL or the CCHL, even the BCHL. Like, it's not flattering for any basically tier 2 league in Canada. And even at one time, the NAHL was a powerhouse in scholarships, and you'll see like they had like 1, I think. So you're seeing what I'm seeing with colleges now is that they're going to try and get as many major junior guys as they can, as many USHL guys. And as you can see, I put prep as 9, and prep is like, Shattuck St. Mary's, all those things, on and on and on. So, that was kind of it, by the way. And so, by the way, I totally screwed up. I totally screwed up something else on those numbers. And I should have put more detail into the European stuff. And so, there's going to be more emphasis on Swedish and Finn players as well, too. By the way, I screwed up Jax's last name. I can't believe that's Jack Armstrong, not Robertson. How did I screw that up? But the Finns and the Swedes are going to be more of a powerhouse. Now that teams are sending over to Sweden and Finland to grab their U20 World Junior guys, out of the Finn guys, and it's going to be tough for Tier 2 hockey. It really is.
So as I look at this, Darryl, and I'm looking at the numbers you have that we've got posted on our feed. It says February 10th to March 3rd. So that's the commitments in that time period. So that's not the commitments for the whole year that have gone on.
No, and this is the best information I can provide right now.
Okay.
I mean, and like I said, like the WHL numbers, like when I did the last one, I think I had the WHL at like 10 guys or something in 4 or 5 weeks. Like when this whole thing first came about, I never thought that I didn't think that players would want to go to college. You know what I mean? I didn't think that they'd be that excited about going to college, and obviously I'm wrong, because like every day there's, somebody's going to Bemidji, somebody's going to Minnesota, somebody's going to St. Cloud. Really has surprised me.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. I don't think it hasn't surprised me at all, because they still want to play, and they want to play at a high level. It's just, where are they going to end up? Before, they would maybe go to U Sports or try to go to the East Coast and get moved up from there. So it's not a surprise to me that more major junior guys have gone there. What is the surprise to me is we're not seeing more junior A guys leave that and go play major junior at a younger age now.
Because they're probably not good enough. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say you're 16 or 17 years old and you think you're going to play for the Pats or the Wheat Kings, you're probably not good enough. Like, maybe they would be good enough at 19, but then at that time, a lot of the WHL teams are going, well, we're going to have this guy here for 1 year, and we only allowed 3 20-year-olds. So, is Jason Ripplinger going to go, hey, I'm going to bring this guy in for 1 year? It makes no sense.
Well, I've had this conversation with others. Jason, we'll use Jason Ripplinger as the example for this point, but he could literally have all the top 18-year-olds out of the junior league come to Moose Jaw and play 1 year as a 19-year-old, and have the oldest team in the Western Hockey League, maybe the biggest, right? If instead of playing 16 and 17-year-old kids, it's possible.
That is true. That is true.
One way to look at it, because bigger, stronger, and an 18 or a 19-year-old kid, as we've all seen,
it's a huge
and
difference.
A 16-year-old kid, It is
not comparable.
Massive difference. So I'm kind of on you, Sharky. I'm wondering if some teams will do that. And then, Darryl, I don't know what your comments are on that. Sorry.
Well, I think the problem is, I think like if you look, I'm just going to use a team like, I'm going to use Moose Jaw as an example. So like, say, for example, when they recruited Quentin Howden, they draft Quentin Howden when he's 14. He comes there 16, plays all he can. Then they get his brother Brett, and he play like. I think that the WHL likes to have guys for a career, so to speak, like for their junior career. Like they'd like to bring them in at 15, get them to play their 5 games, and then get them to play a little bit. Then 16, 17, 18, 19, they have them. Then they're gone to the American Hockey League. I just don't know if the Western Hockey League and the OHL wants to have guys for like one and dones. You know what I mean? Like have them come there for 1 year, maybe 2 years, and then they're gone. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, the landscape hasn't settled out yet. This change that the NCAA's made to bring in major junior players is going to affect the landscape and the wash down far, far more than we know. And I still think there's a lot to happen yet before this washes out and we know where everybody's going to end up.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, last night I was on a flight and coming from Toronto, and this guy says to me, he says he saw me from Twitter, and he says, a friend of mine says that there's private investment companies that are now, not just because this rule change, but because of the NIL evolution, there's now private companies, Oakview Company, and those kind of companies that are big deals in the States. They're now going to put not billions, they're going to put billions of dollars into certain schools, such as Michigan, in the hockey world. They're going to put billions of dollars, and they want to buy half of the program. So they're going to buy 50% of University of Michigan athletics, which is on the horizon. I guess in football, it's already been talked about, like with UCLA, and Oregon and these big football programs, these private companies coming in, and they're going, well, these guys have 110,000 people at a game, plus merchandise. You just got to watch the Johnny Manziel stories to see the numbers in college football. So you're going to see this in college hockey soon too. Obviously, college hockey will never be basketball or football in the NCAA, never, ever in our lifetime anyway. But, down the road, you're going to see it as a very big business.
Okay, quickly, we got about 2 minutes left here, but I want to get a couple of questions in. So when is the usual heavy month for commits to NCAA hockey? Is it coming up here? Is it already passed?
There's really no rhyme or reason to that. There really isn't. I don't think there's a heavy or quiet month. I think and now, like you said, like the landscape has changed so much. It's whenever a guy's ready to commit, like he's going to go commit to Penn State, for example, great. Maybe he's going to commit in December, maybe he's going to commit in February. Who knows? There's really no rhyme or reason to that.
Okay, and then my last question is now with U Sport allowing kids with pro experience to come back and play, where does that land with you?
Well, you look at a couple of guys that you guys know, like guys like Mark Schneider and Sanford King, like those guys probably would have went and played a year of pro hockey and then went to U of R after that. But being at the time, the rule didn't allow that, or you have to sit out a year, a red shirt, technically an NCAA term for a year. Maybe a guy like I said, like Schneids and Sandman, and even maybe Grizz, all those kind of guys went to U of R. They would have maybe played pro hockey at the East Coast Hockey League level, or SPHL, or played in the UK. And then if they would have known, they could have came back and still had their scholarship in place, they would have did that. So I think that U Sports, hey, you know what? The WHL, the CHL, everybody's going to have to get creative. And now Tier 2 hockey, everybody's going to have to reinvent themselves. They really will.
Without a doubt.
Let's regroup on this, especially after SJ, MJ, after the playoffs, and let's see where the numbers land, Darryl, and then we'll regroup. You can find them on Twitter at 2112hockey. Darryl, thanks so much again for taking some time.
Enjoyed the vinegar, guys. Thanks.
That's awesome. Darryl Wolski, again, at 2112hockey. He's NCAA advisor. Those numbers aren't flattering for the junior A leagues right now.
So, and I've talked to you about this before, and I've talked to some others about it. Colson's saying we got to go to a break.
No, get your thought in.
Okay. The hockey landscape is going to change. We're going to see kids maybe even the Western Hockey League draft changing, because the reason they had it at 14 was to get them before they got the NCAA thing in their head and they left to go play Junior A. Now they can move that up a year, draft them at 15, and I still think Western Hockey League teams are going to say, I'm going to take a 19-year-old that's playing 20 minutes a game to play on my team rather than a 16-year-old to play 4 or 5 minutes a game.
I get what you're saying.
Right?
He's done the trip to Flin Flon and grinded it out, and
he's already got that experience. Yeah,
we can revisit that again. Up against the old-fashioned news clock here. It's a Sports Cage. We'll be back.
Listen to the weather
with Glen Suitor, Junior B player, Madden Wallis, and Regina Pats in Hour 3. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Hour 3 of the show. It's Barney, Sharky, Colson, and Curtis. CNC with us. Sharky has no idea what that is. So funny. It's been a fun. We've learned a lot today about trees being moved.
Yep.
Vinegars. Lots of vinegar talk. And the other thing too, that you can buy gold. You can legit buy gold at a bank. So we're getting people on the Prairie Land Rentals text line texting in, and then some on our YouTube channel as well, like Donnie M says you can buy gold bars, small in brackets, at Costco.
You know,
is that online?
I'm probably not going to use Costco for my financial.
I don't see it. It's like, I'm going to grab this toothpaste and this toilet cleaner. Oh, there's gold over there. I'll get one of those too. and an Adidas golf shirt. I don't think that's how it works. And then over at
look, dog food.
Prairie Land Rentals text line on the other way, it was, this is actually funny. First off, informative, no name. Thank you very much. This also chimes in on the marriage, and you can buy it by the ounce size of a car fob. Again, I had no idea. People actually buy the gold and then they store it at a bank or store it wherever. And then
hope it goes up in price and sell it to somebody else.
Georgie Porter, was it Georgie? No, Hot Take Perry.
Hot Take Perry.
He goes, come on, Shynk. How did you not know you could buy gold at the bank? Just refer to the 1979 Gatlin Brothers song, All the Gold in California. Classic. And he says, P.S. Monarchs take down the Bears this weekend. So, hey, I didn't know.
Can confirm Costco has gold bars to buy 10 grams, 50 grams, 1 ounce. That's Canadian mint. You can also get Swiss gold. And you can get it in the form of a loonie, like an actual gold loonie as well. Members only, and when we're out of stock in Regina, but you can do it.
So if I buy this gold, who do I sell it to then? Back to the bank?
You don't. You just keep it under your mattress and keep it nice and lumpy and like a dragon.
I know what you should do.
Like a dragon.
You should bury it. You'd be like, there's a treasure, there's gold buried in Sharky's yard. Let's go find it.
My yard's big enough, it would take a while.
It's a loonie. It's the size of a loonie. Have fun.
There's gold out there, kids.
Hockey tonight. You tune in here because we're local, right? Coming up, Kolten Bridgeman, Regina Pat player interview, along with Madden Wallis from Fort Knox as they get ready for the final against the Regina Extreme Hockey Capitals. Extreme Hockey Report. The WHL, there's nothing going on tonight. Extreme Hockey, you can find spring hockey gear. Umbrella Marketing, they can hook you up. Brandon 5-2 over Saskatoon. The Wheaties are now in second in the conference. It's getting tight there.
Super tight.
SJHL report for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. And right now, 2024s start at $2,000 off, up to $16,000 off at 2024.
That's gold.
It's Southie, yeah, exactly. Southie Mainline Chrysler. SJ last night. Laurent 7-5 over Melfort. Notre Dame 4-3 in overtime over Estevan. AAA midget. Pat Canadians Blazers. They opened up their semifinal series last night. Patsy's 5-2 win. They go at it again Friday night, 8 p.m. in Saskatoon on the west side at the Ham. You can, if you're going up there, I heard the Confed Inn. They got a room rate. Just say you're with the Regina Pat Canadians. I don't know what's stuff that comes out of my mouth. Qu'Appelle Valley Highway Hockey League final. Game 1 tonight, 8:30 in Raymore. Lumsden's in town. 8:30 puck drop, game 1. And then Sask East in Rocanville. Esterhazy trying to stay alive.
Big weekend in the SJHL. Last weekend of the regular season. Melville and Yorkton got a home and home. Yeah. That playoff series, I think they'll face each other in the first round. And it's not decided who has home ice. So 2 big games, SJHL.
I'm rooting for that highway. What highway is it again? Melville and Yorkton. What are they
Highway
called?
10. Highway 10.
Highway 10. Highway 101. CD I bought from Columbia House. I want to go. I hope
And then
they
was deceased.
play in the final.
Who's
in the final? In the first round.
Okay, what do we got? Kindersley's at Battleford's. Where's Larange? Flin Flon's at Larange, and Larange is at Flin Flon. Flin Flon needs to win both and have Kindersley lose their last two against the Battlefords to get a chance at the playoffs. The 8th spot is still up for grabs between those two teams.
What are you doing Monday night?
It's a long ways away.
Buying gold. Burying gold.
Got to dig a hole in the backyard and put my gold in.
We should go to what would that be? Game 3 of Game 2. The Prairie Junior Hockey League, Junior B.
Will that be back here Monday night?
It's at the Ritchie.
At the Al Ritchie.
Yeah, Ritchie.
Yeah.
They know beer gardens there, though.
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Pull a permit. I know a guy. I don't, but...
How hard can it be?
What's the fine if you just set up your own beer garden?
It's pretty good.
Substantial?
It's substantial, yeah.
I got to find you first, though, right?
Well, it wouldn't take long.
Whose beer gardens was this? Coast Guard?
Who's collecting the money? That's what I want to know. We gave them away for free.
NHL. Woo. Last night, Calgary Flames fans. Oh,
heartbreaker.
A shootout. Shootout loss to Vancouver. So when you look at the old standings in the NHL, and I know most of you are listening on the radio. We don't have it on the stream, actually, anyway. I'll explain it to you. Flames, 71, tied with Vancouver, 71 points. St. Louis, I would be wrong. I thought St. Louis would have made a move by now.
They're banged up. St. Louis is a little banged up. They've lost Parayko. Yeah.
Tonight of interest in the league, Florida's in Tirana. The betting line's closed on that on Cool Bet. Oh, because it started already. It's in the first period of play. I forgot time change. Washington's in LA. There's a watch late. I'll sprinkle on that. Ovechkin scoring in LA.
You're sprinkling on that?
I'm going to take him to score at least one goal.
Okay.
You're going to watch it?
Colson, do you keep track of all this? Is it in the book?
Oh, Jake, why? I'm not making this isn't a hot take.
No, but
I'm saying why I'm just going to
be some record of what we've said.
I'm not his bookie. I don't keep track of all of his personal bets.
Oh.
His wife might start sprinkling soon, though.
Oh, you got the wife going on it?
No. So what Barney got
the lingo.
Yeah. Oh. What Barney got her into is setting lines. So the story that I told a couple weeks back was she was getting supper ready and was like, how many carrots do you think we have here? I'm washing the carrots or cutting the carrots. She said, over under 22 and a half. And I'm like, under. And we had 23. So she's good at it. And that's what she started doing now.
It's growing. It's working.
So...
Can you post that somewhere so we put money on that somehow? Yeah.
I'll text you guys. I'll text the group. Let you know what the line is. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. You can go back and listen to anything that we've done, all the stupidity in podcast form later. You can watch it as well. We're going to go to a quick break. Glen Suitor, where is Glen in Europe today?
Where's Waldo?
I'm going to talk Combine with him. I know you got to get going, Sharky. Thanks so much for being here, bud.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to talk Combine with him. I'm going to flat out ask him about the commissioner. We'll see what he has to say after Glen, too. Junior B fans, heads up. Madden Wallis coming up from Fort Knox. Be a good interview as well. It is the Sports Cage, home of local sports. As always, we stream at sportscage.com and on X. All right, there he is. It's been a little bit since we've talked to him because he's been traveling so much, hopping on trains and automobiles and on beaches and things like that. Okay, Glenn, give us an update. Where are you? Where do you sit on this Thursday over in Europe?
Well, right now I happen to be in Liverpool, yes, and the home of maybe the best band of all time, the Beatles, and we were a week in London, which was very interesting in a lot of ways. Big city, lots of stuff. But Liverpool, if you are a Beatles fan, you have to come to Liverpool because the way they celebrate that band and have taken so much pride in that band is just remarkable. It's everywhere you go. Staying in the Hard Day's Night Hotel. Didn't get the John Lennon or Paul McCartney room, but I think they were way too pricey.
You got the Clarence Room. He was the fifth Beatle. If anyone remembers that Saturday Night Live skit with Eddie Murphy. But okay, I hope my wife's listening to this right now, just because I'm a big Beatles fan, and the golf course stretch around Liverpool is unreal. Like, you take that one train and you can play some big ones, and then there's just a number. Okay, but continue. Keep me jealous here.
Okay, so first of all, I had, before we got here, I had heard from some people that had been here that it was a town that was a little sketchy and you had to be careful. That is absolutely not the truth. This is a beautiful city, great history. And as I mentioned, the Beatles, we went now a couple of nights ago to the Cavern Hotel bar, the pub. And this, you've heard of this. This is a world-renowned
Cavern Club.
The Cavern Club is where the Beatles played over 200 sets in the afternoons, at night. That's, if you're watching the podcast, that's the entrance of it right there. And then you go down a few floors. Now you're way in the basement. That used to be an old bomb shelter. Now it's been rebuilt with the original bricks because of a government thing, and we won't get into that. But that is the Cavern has been for the last, 30, 40 years. And it goes back even farther to the 50s. So these are the guys that have played down. Chuck Berry, Rolling Stones, the Queen, the Who, Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Eric Clapton, and, over 200 performances of the Beatles. So we're down there, and I'm talking to a salty dog who actually saw the Beatles play in the venue. And I asked him about Paul McCartney. I asked him about the Beatles. He said, do you know that Paul McCartney, when he was 13 years old, living here in Liverpool, by the way, all four of them did and grew up here. When he was 13, his church choir master told him, you're not a good enough singer to sing in the church choir, when he was 13 years old. 7 years later, they were the biggest band in the world, and Beatlemania was going crazy. And he went back and sang in that same church. And I bring that up, Barney, because, the Combine's coming up. I know as an athlete, I was told by teachers sometimes and counselors, all with good intents, but they were saying, you know what, you're probably not fast enough to play pro football. You're probably not strong enough. That's an elite level. And I think about the kids going in the Combine, to think about, put it in perspective like Paul McCartney did, that if you keep working, don't listen to people that tell you that your dream is over and you're not going to be good enough. Keep working, put your nose down, get working hard, and it can happen for you. And I started thinking about young athletes getting ready for tryouts like the Combine. And Paul McCartney, and you've heard the story about Michael Jordan, same thing, cut by his high school basketball coach. Didn't let that end his dream, went on to be one of the best, if not the best ever. So if Paul McCartney can bounce back from a guy telling him he can't sing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. I wonder, has McCartney ever just showed up at the Cavern Club and gone up on stage and just kind of, the surprise?
Yes. He actually does that quite often in the city, apparently. He has his name on a fine arts school, and it's called the Institute of Liverpool Performing Arts School. And every graduate of that school, and I hate bringing myself into the story, but my son Jared researched it in a big way. He was going to go either here in Liverpool, or he was going to go to Nashville, and he ended up picking Nashville. But this school, Paul McCartney himself shakes the hand of every graduate from his school here in Liverpool. Could you imagine being a young kid learning music and writing songs at 19, 21 years old, and Paul McCartney is congratulating you for graduating from the school? It's quite a city. And Barney, I'm telling you, if you're a Beatles fan, you have got to come to Liverpool. They take great pride in that group, and it is everywhere.
I have to go. That's all there is to it. Good job, Kurt. Look at those hairdos, eh? If you're watching the stream, the boys had flow for sure back in the day. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into the combine. Like the draft can be really important. From your perspective, Glenn, how important is the CFL combine?
Well, I'll put it this way, and I don't want to be over dramatic here, but the teams that are successful in evaluating the talent and the personalities and character of the players, that to me is as important as their actual measurables, whether it's the 40 or anything like that. If you like your interview process, if you feel like this kid and you make those decisions based on all of that, and you do that right more often than you do it wrong, you're going to be in the Grey Cup multiple times. I don't want to be old dramatic with it, but developing quarterbacks in the CFL and your Canadian talent in the CFL is the two most important aspects of building a championship team. And, I think if you look at the Canadian talent on the Bombers, who have been there 5 times in a row, you'll see that Canadian talent, a guy like, not even, Oliveira, but a guy like Reddick Cramdy, who is a star linebacker, and we're just scratching the surface on him. He was a guy that was kind of overlooked in the draft and then in the combine, he stepped up and started really making plays in the one-on-ones and caught the eye of the Bombers staff, and they picked him up. And now he's going to be a perennial starter for that team if he stays healthy. So, and not only a starter, but an all-star. So it's guys like that. That's how important it is. And I think not to downplay the big American receivers and guys like that come up here, but I would suggest that if you have a free agent camp in LA, you will see 100 players that are pretty pro ready because of their university programs and because they started playing football when they were 6, not hockey when they were 6, and not playing football till they're in grade 11 or 12. So that's the difference in the timing of it. And you're going to find receivers and linebackers and DBs in those free agent camps in the States. What you have to do is really the evaluation in interviews. I don't take anything away from developing quarterbacks. That's key. If you don't have a quarterback that you believe in that can win, you can win with, it's over, basically. But next to that is the Canadian content, and that's where the combine comes in, and that's where the draft comes in.
Yeah, I think the quarterback thing, as you speak of, I don't know enough about it, so I'm really curious when it's here next week to learn more about it and how important it is. Because back in your day, was there even a combine?
Yeah, actually, no, there wasn't really a combine like it's set up now. Back in my day, the scouts kind of came to the schools and they timed you, and there was I was playing at SFU at the time. And they would come up, and SFU and UBC guys were all there, and they would sort of do their little testing and interviews on their own. Actually, we didn't really even do an interview. We sort of test. And I wanted to bring up, too, about the testing.
What was your 40 time, Glenn?
Well, I tell everyone that it was forever. But no, it was it was I think my best time ever was a 4.59 on a track. About 4, probably 7 was my 4.65. It was about, now there are some O&D linemen running 4.65s now, but let me
I'm picturing you in like the shorts, high socks in the 80s, just going. Okay, continue.
well, I also would like to bring up that in the bench, I had 27 reps. Oh. So there are O&M'men that are not getting 20 reps too. So there was that angle of it too. But let me bring up what I think is important, and I hope there's young guys that are going to the combine listening, because the 40 to me is a bit of a I don't know if it's a real indication of
false indicator.
Yeah, it really is.
Like bench press is. They should be doing dips instead of bench press.
Yeah, like, even the tests alone. Like, for instance, I'll tell you what's happening right now with a lot of those combine players that are coming in now. Right now, they are working on their start for a 40. So, if you're trained as a track athlete, you know what I'm talking about, that track athletes train and take hours training coming out of their stance, because if you come out of your stance low, keep your head down, and you're driving out of that stance, you get a better 40 time. The first 20 yards of a 40 are crucial in your final time. And what I'm suggesting is, why are we asking young football players to spend hours training on running a 40 when not one position starts with their head down in a 3-point stance in a football game? It doesn't make any sense to me that we are putting so much emphasis on how fast a guy runs in a 40. What I would rather see is you test DBs backpedaling, turning, and then catching up to a receiver. What is their makeup time? How fast are they on the field? Ray Elgard, I think his best time was probably a 4.8, or maybe, I think one year he ran a 5 flat 40 in testing. Ray Elgard on the field would run by the fastest DBs on every other team all the time. So he had games.
Scared of him.
Well, that was part of it.
This guy coming down with a handlebar mustache and a mullet. I'm getting out of the way.
that was part of it, without question. But I just, and again, look, I know what they're doing. They want to see what type of athletic power these guys have, their quickness, their speed, those kind of things. But I think there's way too much emphasis on 40 times. Not even a receiver comes out of a 3-point stance in the CFL. It's motion, it's hitting the line on the run. They're always standing up with their head up, or else they're going to get jammed at the line of scrimmage by a DB. So, and then you can also add this, Barney, the difference between a 4.6 and a 4.4 is that it's not even noticeable to the naked eye.
For sure. Yeah, like for sure. What was Nick Lewis's 40? Who cares?
Yeah.
Guy was unreal for his stature. Have you been contacted about the commissioner position?
Okay, I keep working on this, and I keep coming up with a big fat 0, and I hate to admit that, because it just seems so quiet. And this is with a week before the combine beginning. This is where, I think the CFL really needs to be stepping up from the league office and promoting the combine, not just for the people in Regina that will actually be able to go and see it, but promoting it from a, young prospects angle. Like let's get those names out there, not just on the website, but let's get them on, talk radio, everything else, so that we can start talking about the future stars. We do a really good job of it in this country in hockey. But, you and I, Barney, know what's going on in the world right now and how patriotic we have all become for a lot of different reasons. And I would love to see the Canadian Football League office start to take advantage of that. And I don't mean it in a, a facetious or a negative way. I mean, like, start to promote how Canadian our game really is. And the Canadian Combine is an excellent starting point for that. I mean, these are young that are getting a chance to play pro football in their backyard with their team in a league that's been around for 120 years. Without a commissioner, an active working commissioner, it's hard for any of those sort of initiatives to get kickstarted here. And we're running out of time. We're a week away to the Combine. Then we got the draft coming up quickly afterwards. And, let's start waving the Canadian flag about our league. I don't know. I haven't heard any new news. That's a long way around to getting to apologizing for not being a very good insider.
Yeah. Well, first off, very patriotic, and I'll be so patriotic on April 1st when the carbon tax goes up again. But heard from our Saskatchewan guy is, will the league look at a financial guy with just a passion for football and the Canadian Football League, not a former player, the guy who's still nameless. He's from the financial industry. He thinks he has a clear plan for expansion based on market size and different streams of revenue. The TV deal that's up in, after this season, which is huge. How many suitors, there's a pun, are going to be in that, right? And what about streaming? Are we factoring in streaming companies into this new? Where's gambling going? Do you think that would work, or is that to have a fair look and get a fair shake as a guy that's coming from the financial side?
Yeah, it's a tough one because it depends on that passion and the level of
definitely passion. I can tell you that.
Yeah, the passion and level, but also level of what makes our game great. I think it's tough to sell a product when you don't know what about the product is making it great. Why is the Canadian Football League great, and why is it worth your money, and why is it worth growing in the expansion or adding companies and revenue streams and streaming services and things like that. So yes, the business aspect of it is absolutely important. But when you look at history in this, we have had guys that have been involved with big shoe companies prior. We've had business guys that have run businesses that know and love the league, but didn't know really what it was that they were selling. What is the best part? What makes the league great? I think if it's a time in the history of the league right now, Barney, that we make sure that the commissioner that's hired this time takes care of the detail in messaging. Yes, we have to grow the game and expansion, and certainly the TV contract and the possibility of streaming, even if it's competition, a game a week, and that pushes, it floats all boats. The competition does, and that's what we've seen in golf and hockey and other things where streaming companies are picking up one game a week, but that's more revenue. That's more revenues.
That's what he brought up. That's what he brought up. So I can't wait to introduce you to him, and then you guys can talk. And I don't know if that'll be in Regina or Saskatoon, or if we come to you. Maybe I do the introduction on a golf course somewhere in BC, right? I see how I'm playing things, Glenn. What's in it for Barney? Dude, have so much fun in Liverpool. I can't wait to hear about it. You said you heard it was a sketchy town. Doesn't sound like it is. Let us know if there's any people getting undressed and naked in produce departments, and then say, well, I know a place where they do that, and I don't see that happening in Liverpool. That's a Regina joke that we'll get into next week with you, Glenn. Okay. Safe travels, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Barney. Appreciate it.
Press coverage with Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090. Quick break here on the SportsCage. When we come back, we're talking Junior B hockey. We're talking with Madden Wallis from Fort Knox as they get ready for the Regina Capitals. It is a SportsCage streaming on X at sportscage.com, and always on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the Sportscage. If you're watching the stream, sportscage.com, and on X, of course, always on the radio, 620 CKRM. The 620 CKRM signal does reach all the way down to Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. That's where our next guest actually is from on the Western Pizza guest hotline from the Fort Knox squad in the Prairie Junior Hockey League. It's Madden Wallis joining us. Madden, how are things going? You guys have had the week off here to kind of rest up before the South Final starts.
Yeah. Hi, thanks for having me, Barney. It's been Pretty good. We've had a couple chances to get a couple practices in, so it's been pretty good. Getting ready to play our next opponent coming up, the Regina Capitals, and it's going to be pretty good.
I love the Junior B League, right? Because you never know. Some guys are in school, some guys are taking an apprenticeship and trade stuff, and then other guys are just working. What does Madden do while the hockey season's on? Where are you working right now?
I work at Mission Ridge Ski Resort here in Fort Capel.
Oh, what do you do?
I just hand out, nothing too special. I work in the rental shop. I just hand out boots and help with some skis and get the kids their stuff to get ready to go out.
Well, that's a pretty fun job to have while playing junior hockey. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxing. It's nothing too difficult and keeps the days fun.
Oh, that's cool. So if anyone's going out, going to do a little skiing at Mission Ridge, ask for Madden. He'll hook you up with some sweet boots. All right, let's talk about the team here. You guys kind of rode first place in the South Division all year. Like going into this year, was that expected? Were you guys, the first few skates or at camp looking around saying, "Hey, we got a wagon this year. Like we have to finish first in the South"?
Yeah, it kind of was. My captain, Colby Cuddington, the very start of the season, early September, I was in Estevan for the Estevan Bruins trying to make that team there. But he was texting me, I swear, every day to come back. We're going to make a final run. We have a good team. We have the same core exactly from last year. So expectations were high.
Well, that's a solid leader right there. Those are the kind of guys you want to rally behind. What makes this team tick? What makes Fort Knox tick? Like who are the veteran guys? Maybe let's start there.
We got a couple veteran guys. We filled up on all our 20. So our goaltender of the South, or the year actually, was Zane Winter. He's 21. He leads the team and battles hard for us in goal there. And then our captain, Colby Cuddington, keeps the morale high and the boys pumped up to play their next game. And then got a couple others like Castor Bearzook and Riverbanks. They push the pace for us all the time and play hard. They're always a good two to rely on. And, yeah, our whole core is all returners. We have a couple 20-year-old D-men, Tatum Menardi and Landon Caban, Austin Davis, like good guys to get behind. Got a good core.
Right on. Yeah, and I don't want to overlook that sweet handle, Riverbanks. What a name. I'd like to know the story on that one with his parents. All right, but everything changes in the playoffs, right? Like you guys are kind of rolling in the playoffs as well into this one. So you got the Regina Extreme Hockey Capitals. What are you expecting? You've played them all season. What are you expecting from the Capitals?
I'm expecting a 7-game series. Like, it's not going to be easy. They want it just as bad as we do, and we're just going to have to push harder than they will and battle for those 50-50 pucks just a little harder and crash their net and make them kind of stay on their heels.
Like teams sometimes before they play a series against a team, they'll watch like a team's power play or what they do. How are they moving the puck? Do they stretch it out a lot? Like when you guys watch what Regina does, what jumps out?
Oh yeah, they're pretty fast. Like they got their speedy forwards like Jack Bichard and that Sean Roth there, that number 14 on their team. So they're pretty fast, and they got some bigger D-men. So when you're in the corners, be expected to get hit. And they like to push the pace. They like to stretch the ice. They like to use their speed to their advantage. But contain the middle, and we should keep them contained.
Expecting a rowdy atmosphere too. Like it's always nice to start something at home.
Yeah, it should be good. I think these guys have kind of been our season rivals all year. Like every time we beat them, there's always something happening after the whistle. Every time they get to us, it's always pushing and shoving. So atmosphere will be pretty good. The town's excited. Should be a good game.
Right on. All right, Madden. Thanks so much for taking some time today. Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a series. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. You're calling 7 games. I like that, right? Yeah, a nice long grind, and then you're going to have to take on one of those squads from the north. So the Chiefs or the Wesleys. So a lot of hockey could be ahead of you yet. So when's the mountain closing? When are you done work?
Yeah, we're done just on the end of the month here. I believe our last night ski is this weekend, and then, end of the month we'll be all finished up. I can't remember if it's the 30th or the 29th. But after that, we'll take down this series and maybe get a nice long break and get ready for the next one.
Right on, Madden. Have a good one.
All right, thank you.
There it is. The series starts Saturday in the Fort, the Recplex there. Fantastic barn, nice little concession. 7:30 puck drop. The Regina Extreme Hockey Capitals and the Fort Knox Thunder should be a good one. Like Maz was talking about yesterday, we got the Chiefs and Wesleys up north in the Bob Dibvig division. They're battling there, so we love our Prairie Junior Hockey League. We'll be keeping tabs on it here. Quick break on the Sports Cage. We come back. Dave Thomas caught up with one of the Regina Pats, who's one of the elder statesmen on the young Regina Pats team. So we're going to hear from that when we return. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com on X. And as always, on the mighty 620 CKRM.
With number 4, Kolten Bridgeman of the Regina Pats. First and foremost, how cool is it that you get to play for your hometown team?
Yeah, it's obviously really cool. I think growing up, I went to a bunch of games, and they've kind of been my heroes and role models throughout my whole life. So it's pretty cool to be in their shoes now and representing my city here.
Did you ever have a welcome to the Regina Pats moment? Because there was probably a time where you were playing mini sticks on the concourse and stuff, and then all of a sudden to be putting on that jersey and going out and being one of the guys on the ice?
Yeah, for sure. I think some of the best memories and coming to the Pats games is eating mini donuts and playing mini sticks at intermission. So I guess my 16-year-old year when I got to start the season with the boys, coming out of that tunnel was pretty cool.
Okay, full disclosure, how many mini donuts could you pack away at one sitting at one time?
I'm not too sure. Probably a good bag.
Yeah?
Probably a good bag, yeah.
Good for you. So was that the best part of the Regina Pats experience, the mini donuts and just having an opportunity to be around the rink?
Yeah, I think mini donuts aside, it was pretty cool to kind of model my game after some of the guys that played when I was watching, and it was really cool to see them develop and then kind of show that I can be there too, and kind of walking in their shoes now. So it's been cool.
Who are some of the guys that you idolized? This franchise has such a rich tradition of players. Who are the guys that you looked up to?
Couple guys I name are Kobe Williams, or Connor Hobbs, and Josh Mahura. Those were kind of when I was in my prime of watching the Pats. Those were the kind of guys I looked up to. And Kobe unfortunately had an injury, and I think he's playing in Europe now. Connor had a really good career, and then went on to play with U of S, and Mahura's in the NHL. So 3 really good guys to look up to.
How good were they off the ice? Because I've heard they're excellent people in addition to being great on the ice.
Yeah, and I think that's why I kind of liked them too, was going out to those skate with the Pat nights. It's cool to get to meet them, and you kind of grow to like a person more when they're really nice to you, especially as a kid. They don't really have to talk to you. You're just a kid. So it was nice for them to talk to me, and I think those experiences helped me to get to where I am today.
So pleased to be joined by Kolten Bridgeman, a Regina-born native on the Regina Pats that went undrafted through the WHL draft process. Can you explain what that was like to me? Because that's everybody's dream and goal, right?
Yeah, it was obviously a dream growing up, like I said, watching the Pats, but it was devastating, but I knew it wasn't over. I didn't make AAA that year either, so it was tough, but my dad always kind of said to keep working, keep grinding through, and just see what happens. And I was fortunate enough to get listed, which is pretty cool, and now I'm here. So I'm very grateful for kind of the whole process, because AA really helped me out too.
Do you feel that you had something to prove at that point, and maybe that continues to this day?
Oh yeah, I love the feeling of trying to outwork everyone and being on the bottom and not using so much skill to get to where you need to be, but just working hard and staying determined.
Now, in the NHL's midterm ranking, you were 142nd on that list. What was it like seeing your name come up there?
That was crazy. I I've always dreamed of, getting drafted in the NHL, playing in the NHL. To see kind of projection like that, it was obviously really cool.
Does that change anything for you? Is it just maybe, hey, I'm doing the right thing, got to keep what I'm going as a motivator? How does that make you feel?
No, those lists don't mean much. They're just a general kind of ranking. So just sticking to what I'm doing didn't really change my mindset at all. So.
Tell me about the year for you. This has been a lot of learning. That's the one consistent we hear from the coaches, is that the players are learning. What do you take away, and what have you learned?
I don't think that when they classify learning, I think a lot of our new guys are learning our systems and how to be a professional and how to play or to be a Regina Pat. I think my learning came in the prior 2 years of playing with the Pats, but I guess not to say that I'm not learning this year. I've learned a lot of things especially from Ryan Smith, our new assistant coach there. He's always got good stuff for us, post practice skills. But I'm learning how to be a leader this year. I think I'm one of the older guys, so learning how to lead these guys and help get us out of this rut is a valuable thing to have.
Leadership is so cool because as fans, we can visibly see the C's and the A's and know that that's a leader. But what does it being a leader mean to you? If somebody said, what do you have to do if you want to lead a hockey team, what would you tell them?
I think first off, it's setting a good example. I think sticking it to a routine, being consistent with your everyday rink process is a big thing of being a leader, because the younger guys will look up to you, look at you, see what you're doing, and know that this is what they have to do to kind of get better. And then also talking, being vocal out on the ice, in the room, helping the young guys out with just strategy, day-to-day rink stuff. That's kind of being a leader too.
Well, going off the page a little bit, obviously you love playing at the Brand Center. You grew up watching the team here, now you've grown up playing here. But for whatever reasons, players always seem to have that one rink that brings out the best in them. Is there a place that you travel to that you just love competing in?
I can't say I love any of them more than the Brand. I think the Brand Center is the best thing ever, and like I said, growing up skating with the Pats on this rink, it's surreal to be playing on it every home game. So I can't say there's any rink better than, well, maybe the Rogers Center where the Oilers play, but other than that, the Brand.
So are you an Edmonton Oilers fan? You cheer them on?
I am. I've been an Oilers fan since I came home from the hospital. I came home in an Oilers toque, so.
Wow, it was impressed upon you early. So do they have a legitimate shot at winning the Stanley Cup this year, or are you concerned?
I'm a little concerned, but last season they pulled it off, so I think they'll come together come playoff time and they'll be fine.
Okay, so when you're not watching the NHL on TV or here at the rink, what makes you tick off the ice? What's something that you like to enjoy that doesn't have anything to do with hockey?
I'm not sure. I play a lot of video games with my brother. Just hanging out with him is fun. The hot tub's always nice after a long day at the rink. Netflix, that's about it. I'm pretty chill.
All right, so if I ask him who's the better gamer, who would he say, you or him?
I think it depends what game we're playing, but I think overall PS4 games or PS5 games he's better, and then mobile games I think I'm a little bit better, so.
And he would agree, you think?
I think so.
All right, fair enough. I won't hold you to that. Last, before we let you go on this one, if you had an opportunity to have anybody on your line for one shift in hockey, who would it be?
On my D pairing?
Yep.
Jacob Slavin.
Wow, that was quick. Why so quick?
I mean, did you see him at the World Championship? He was unreal, I think. Well, maybe we'll play a little bit too defensive, but I think it'll be good to learn from him and then kind of adapt to how he plays, because he's obviously one of the best, if not the best, defender in the world.
Very cool. Kolten, I appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.